Michael, Shawn, and the Takeover Legends, where nothing's off limits. Free Agent Radio. Agent Radio.
Good impersonation. Good morning. Hey, it's not the Puerto Rican guy. No. It's Jay Black, as you see. I'm doing my mic. Good morning, DJ Cam.
What's up, Mike? What's going on, man? So good morning. You know what I mean? Well, Jay Black, I'm not even going to play the Michael thing. What's good, brother?
Hey, Shawnee. We got Shawnee Scott up early with us. Good morning, Shawnee.
Good morning, Mike. Jay Black.
Yeah, so as we're looking and waiting for Michael Shawn, we figured, hey, why not start the show? Why not get engaged? So you have the Takeover Legends here. So where's Michael Shawn? That's what you're wondering?
No.
We are too.
If anybody knows where he's at, let us know. If you see him, send us a picture, call us, do what you got to do. Reach out to us.
Yep. So a little background. So Michael Shawn was flying back to Dallas from Philly, and apparently during his layover in Orlando, there was some sort of storm. Is bad, some type of bad weather in Dallas, Shawnee?
Yeah, it was storming so bad. What's today? Wednesday. So Tuesday and Monday, we had real bad thunderstorms.
So with that being said, there's no flights going into Dallas. None. There's no one there. So they can't go in. So where's Mike? He said, Jay, last I heard from him, I'm stuck in the airport. There's no flights going into Dallas. So I'm stuck here and I may have to fly back home to Philly, or I got to fly back, to Dallas the following day. So we're waiting for an update with Mike. He should be joining the show. I'm hopeful. He'll join the show from the airport, from the bathroom at the airport. I don't know, but he should be jumping on because they got internet, right? They got internet at the airports.
Yeah.
So it would be no reason for him not to join us. But yeah, so Michael Shawn to be joining the show. That's where we're at. So you got the Takeover Legends. We got should have a fun show today. We're going to try to put something together. Sexy Mo will be joining us much earlier. So
8 o'clock hour, right? 8 o'clock.
Yeah, within the next 45 minutes or so. Also, we have and of course she has a bunch of stories, a bunch of topics for us to hit on, and a lot of stuff going on in the news from Tristan Thompson, his alleged side chick, and him doubling down like, I double dare you, let's go, I got my lawyers, I don't know you, down to Portia Williams, of course, is all over the news from Atlanta Housewives.
Yeah, Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Housewives of Atlanta. So much things. And also the doctor, our friend to the room, Takeover Legends alum, Dr. Aaron Smith, will be joining us also in a little bit to go over some key things. So as we're waiting for Mike, as those are popping in, Michael Shawn is MIA, but he will be joining us hopefully soon to jump in. But while we wait for Mike to jump in, Sexy Mo and Dr. Aaron Smith, I saw, who Bad Baby is, Cam?
No, I'm not familiar.
Shawnee, you know who Bad Baby is?
Yeah, she's the Catch Me Outside girl.
Yes, she's in the news. She was in the news, apparently for her OnlyFans page. So, she just recently turned 18 and she's been making a lot of money with the OnlyFans. So it was some drama associated with it, a little alleged scandal of an 18-year-old being able to have such a page at that age. But she's an adult, right?
Yeah, she's an adult.
So in theory, she should be able to do that. But there has been some backlash. And actually, it was a reporter that caught her out and she was talking about it. Check it out.
I think any bitch who says that is mad because they didn't make as much money as me on this.
Really? They're saying it's like child grooming.
I'm not groomed by nobody. I make all my own decisions, and I have been since I was very young.
Thoughts?
Well, you can be on OnlyFans at 18. I ain't mad at her. If it worked for her, hey, it worked for her. I thought about doing an OnlyFans too.
Stop it. Stop.
I did because of
what's the big deal with the OnlyFans page? What is it that you get on that that you don't get on a regular fan page or just your regular page, period?
Well, since Shiny was about to do it, maybe Shiny can explain.
On my OnlyFans page, what I was gonna do is do stuff in a cat suit, just normal stuff in the cat suit, like cleaning the house in the cat suit, cooking dinner in the cat suit, taking the girls to track in the cat suit. Now I don't know how much money I would have made for that. Maybe not as much as Bad Baby or whatever her name is. But most people that make like $24,000 a week and up, they're posting nudes or something like that.
And these are regular people, right?
Yeah,
That's
because the one lady, her kids went to a private school, and she and her husband decided that she was gonna have one, and she posted just a few nudes, but for the most part, she just dressed like a little sexy schoolgirl. They were making like $50,000 a week.
So you
they
set
kick the kids out of school, everything.
And you set your own price.
Yeah.
As OnlyFans.
Yeah, like so you can make an OnlyFans and do like Jay's rants.
Hey.
See how much
Jay's rants. Ain't nobody want to see no rants. Yeah. They want to see the bod, right? They want to see the guns. I mean,
you can do that too. Or do one OnlyFans with like Cam could do his hands.
or
something.
His hands. Who wants to see only? I know his fetishes out there, but come on.
Yeah.
Somebody they want to just see Can. So you want to see Can's Twitter fingers?
Can's is magical, bro. Don't sleep.
Yeah.
Good morning, Kathy. Would you pay for DJ Cam's OnlyFans? We're talking about right now. First of all, Kathy, Michael Shawn is MIA. We waiting. Mike should be joining soon. He's stuck somewhere in the airport. You know, there's bad weather in Dallas. But we started talking about Bad Baby and her being 18 and she's in the news because she's like, look, if y'all hating on me, it's because y'all haters. You know, y'all ain't getting as much money as me. So we're talking about OnlyFans at 18. Is that cool? And then the flip side, Shiny revealed that she was considering doing her OnlyFans.
Yeah. I'm thinking about it again after hearing this story.
I guess what could it hurt?
What's going to happen?
So you can only see the page if you pay into the page.
You need a subscription. You got to pay.
You got to subscribe.
Once a month, right? I think it's once a month fee.
Okay. I don't remember. I didn't get that far into it.
But with her being 18, does that feel weird? Like if you look at some other images of her that we have, like if you look at her, like she's 18, but it's legal.
Mm-hmm.
But does it feel weird? Like I think we got another image of her. But Cam, like, what are your thoughts? She's 18, Shiny. She's 18. Like, is that cool? I know it's legally cool, but morally,
but maybe for me to be interested, that wouldn't be a good thing. But old enough, from the law standpoint.
This is her. I mean, okay, that's regular her. That's regular her.
Would you know she's 18 when you first looked at her?
She looks young.
Yeah, she's young.
Yeah, she looks young.
Maybe 22. Maybe 22.
Tell her where she wears her hair.
No, she don't look. Look at her in the face.
I'm trying to justify. Okay. Let me see.
She got them bangs. She got them kitty bangs.
Yeah. Now see here. Let's see.
Not the kitty bangs.
Kitty bangs, the curls.
But we can't.
The baby hairs. The baby hairs.
Baby hairs. That's what it is.
Her baby hairs are popping.
Let me see.
So now here, she looks a little bit older than 18.
Yeah, that's not even the same chick, but I mean.
That's why I know.
Yeah.
Wait. I read that she's black fishing people, and I didn't know what black fishing was until just now. So she's changing her look to look like a black. Well, I don't know. Is she trying to look like a black person? Like when you look at this image, what are you seeing?
Yeah, she's trying to be urban.
Yeah, they are. They all want to be black women.
Now, Cam, she don't look 18.
She still look young, though.
Young.
Yeah.
Under 25 for sure.
Am I still just trying to justify? Okay.
Yeah, you are.
Let me see.
Her lace front is popping. Let me be clear, because for whatever reason, some people don't think that white chicks wear these lace fronts. Her lace front is nice. She did real good with the baby hairs. She got her Tyra Banks going on over here with her eyebrows. Her makeup is nice. She can get people to pay to look at her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's getting millions of dollars. And that's why she's like, don't try with me. But she said her boyfriend wouldn't be allowed to do it. That's what she said. Her boyfriend is like, nah, it ain't happening. Kathy said, no, I would pay to look at any man's body unless I'm in a strip club environment.
All righty then.
Kathy and her truths.
Miss
Okay,
Kathy be at the she be at the Chippendale.
Wow. That threw me off. I didn't expect. I wasn't sure where Kathy was going to go. I never know where she's going to go. But
Wait a minute.
wait, I'm thinking about starting my OnlyFans now. Shay, hold up. I think there's a opportunity there.
Yeah, see, you could create a strip club environment and put a look, because you can do a video too. It doesn't just have to be pictures. You do video.
Yeah. I think a video, people want to. I guess OnlyFans. I'm assuming they would like to see something more than just a still shot, maybe a video. But like you're saying, if you're seeing that people are doing it now and teachers are doing it,
you never know. They might just look at the picture. Just try.
Right.
It don't hurt to try. I'm talking myself back into doing it again.
Wait, so maybe I got to start my prescription off, or our subscriptions rather. How much? So we got to start off a little. We got to start off like Shiny. What you $9.99 to start for the month subscription?
Oh no, I do like maybe $5.99, something like that.
So they only pay one time
each month.
Each month.
Okay. Wow.
So you need to be posting like.
Interesting.
You know what, Cam? I know what you could do. You DJ.
Yep.
You could do your turntables, take your shirt off, put a little bow tie on, and get the lights going. And Kathy gave me that idea when she said that. I'm telling you, it's something different.
Yeah, it is.
You want me to set it up? I'll set it up for you.
No,
I'm gonna take a percentage.
I don't want you to set it up, Maury. A little bashful. I don't want. I've never DJ'd with my shirt off, so I don't.
It's something new. Look, listen, Cam.
Feel a little violated. I feel it's like some type of like that.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little.
I want to go all black. I might want my screen off.
It's 2021.
I hear you.
You got to live.
I can't envision this. DJ Cam OnlyFans.
No way. God, I will feel like a whore.
It's okay though. It's okay.
I'm legit.
Ain't nobody judging.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
there they are. I'm judging me.
We gonna get this money though. We gonna be rich.
Let's get it another way.
It don't matter.
Let's go to another way.
I don't see why we can't just rob a bank. I don't understand. Why can't we just do it the old-fashioned way?
Because we don't want to do 10 years.
A federal crime.
We ain't got 10 years.
Yeah, I'm ready to do a federal crime. Take my shirt off.
We can't do 10 years at this point. If we were 20, we could do 10 years, but we over 40. We can't do 10 years. So, okay, Jay. We can do that with you, though.
Oh, I'm down. Oh, don't play with me. Now that I see Bad Baby said it's cool. And, I think for research purposes, we probably should pay for a subscription and see what she got going on, just so we can know. No, let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. She is
research.
Just research. We got to research. No, but why not? Why not try to do a little OnlyFans? And hey, if somebody pay $190, I'm thinking $199 for me to start, or 99 cents.
Right, so the fan, what is that connected to? Is that connected to Facebook, or is this something totally separate from all that?
It's completely separate, but it's like Facebook.
Okay.
So you can go through and scroll. It's some stuff you can see for free. Like you can put a teaser up there for free, so people can get to know you. Some people do little like even the bits on the show. You can put those up there. People put all kind of stuff up there. It's just the stuff that makes millions and $50,000 a month is people showing skin. Man. So I'm telling you, Cam, you take DJ into a whole nother level.
I hear you.
Forget a Bad Baby. We got DJ Cam OnlyFans coming soon.
No shirt and a bow tie. Ooh.
No shirt, bow tie. I'm telling you.
Top of the morning, Reg. We're waiting for Michael Shawn. Reg, he's lost in the airport somewhere. Dallas got some bad weather. They got him stuck in Orlando on a connecting flight. We haven't seen him. But somebody did report that unless I told her he was sleeping or whatever, he's sleeping in the airport, and somebody said they did see him and they sent me a pic. Actually, I didn't want to put the pic up because I wasn't sure if it was truly him, because sometimes you can't really get a good image of somebody, but we do have a picture of him allegedly sleeping in the airport right now. We got that photo that they just sent in.
Yep,
Who do we got?
do.
Who do we got? Where's Mike at? Mike.
Poor Mike.
Yeah. Mike. Wait. Wait.
Terminal A, Gate 12.
Is that his shirt? Surely that's not his drawers.
That's
his shirt, right?
I know Mike.
Yeah, that's his drawers. He's snagging.
I don't think Mike's butt is that big.
Yeah. The reason why I think it could be him because he was worried about somebody getting into his luggage. So I can see that being Mike.
Turned his luggage to a mattress.
Yes, with the pink luggage.
Yes.
Pause.
Time out, Mike. Wait, what are we doing with a pink suitcase? We can't
That's what stands out when it comes down to things. That's what stands out.
Wait. I think this Dr. Aaron Smith joining us. Let's bring him in. Hey, Dr. Smith, we got Mike at the airport.
Mike at the airport. Oh my gosh.
He's
somebody cash app him.
Somebody cash app him.
Get him back on his feet.
Poor Mike.
2 days of being stuck in the airport.
Wow. Yeah, if you've seen Mike, please. Cash app him.
Yes.
Cash app him.
Milk carton. Have you seen him?
Tell me, have you seen him?
He's the oldest person to ever be on a milk cart.
Smiling.
Everywhere I go in the street.
Probably if you can.
Yo, that's too funny.
You need to put that photo up every 10 minutes.
Yeah, because
just because. Oh, that photo. Oh my God!
With the tight jeans on, Mike. If you wear the tight jeans and the tight shirts,
skinny jeans, grown man in skinny jeans. There it is.
Stuck in the airport.
Jeans in the
airport. But with the bad baby, another thing that came up was is that considered cheating? Like she got her OnlyFans page, and although she's 18, she's an adult. But people are paying for that subscription. Like, is that considered cheating? Like, if you're in a relationship and you're paying to be entertained by the opposite sex.
Did you you got a Netflix account?
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. So is that cheating?
What does that mean? It ain't nobody naked or showing me.
On Netflix, it's not. Oh. So all the shows you watch, they have no nudity, no suggested nudity. No sex scenes. You just watching Elmo, Sesame Street. That's it.
Ooh, Shawnee hit you with the good one. That was good.
That was good, but it just feels different. It's one-on-one. So it's intimate. At least a show on Netflix is multiple characters. It's multiple.
Did you
people.
Watch? What's the show?
Give me a one-on-one.
It was a popular show on Stars. About the strip club, The Pink.
Oh man, what was the name of it? I know exactly what you're talking about.
Did you watch that?
Yep. No, I was hooked. Oh, what's the name of that?
See, that's not Cam having an affair. That's him just watching the show.
Exactly.
But you said a show with multiple characters still. What I'm saying is the OnlyFans
is a show.
It's a show. It's not intimate. If I'm going, like you said, Professor Shawnee mentioned that she was considering doing her OnlyFans and being in a cat suit, cleaning the house. Now, that's very intimate. That's very one-on-one. That's different than...
I don't know. Because I've seen some of those trailers for the Pete Valley show they're talking about with the strip club and all that. And sometimes people get so into the show that they feel like it's one-on-one. And that's where people go left. They get so into what they're watching. And then they woman walks in and a man walks in and say, what you watching? They got to close the laptop and get themselves together. It's all in your mind whether you one-on-one or not. So I can't judge. I'm sorry. They might be appreciating her technique of dusting and cleaning, and then they might be watching a tennis match with Serena and Venus or something and get more one-on-one with that. Yeah, hey, I don't know. I don't know. It's all relative,
Yeah, that was good.
You know what? A chick from Louisiana is, I think she's still the one that makes the most money on OnlyFans. Black girl. All she does is show you how to like fix your car and little fixer up things in all her clothes.
See?
She's fully dressed.
Fully dressed.
Clothed.
Fully dressed, but she has the best tips.
Oh, so she's using it not in a sexual aspect.
Yeah, you don't have to use it as in a sexual aspect.
Oh, because I picture OnlyFans. I think, hey, it's on the Pornhub vibe.
She probably looks like a 10.
Okay. What does she look like? A 1 and a 0? That's what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, she got it. Well, not of his tips. She could be a Cheryl Underwood.
That's what I'm like. She look like a 1 and a 0. Y'all
she don't look like an average mechanic. She don't look like my mechanic.
Y'all need scales.
Exactly. I think I got it fixed for you.
She about a 6.5. She look like a 6 and a point and a 5.
Hey, can we shift gears?
I want to see that picture. And you say she's the one making the most money on
Yeah, I have to get her name.
Now I gotta see her before we shift gears. Before we shift gears, I want to know now.
But she's from Louisiana. And I can't think of her name. I cannot think of her name.
Nope, we can't move forward until I see
some good tips.
You're gonna be looking for a minute trying to find that on OnlyFans because I think you have to sign up and it's like some stuff you got to do.
So you got an account, huh, Shani?
Yeah, I did set up an account. I told you I was thinking about doing it. I had to get on there and see. Yeah. Yes, I was for real because bills got to get paid. Yes.
See, that's why you single. Yes. There's no way you can have a relationship and be walking around in a cat suit enticing people.
Hey, they ain't got to know that I do that.
And I didn't say you keep secrets. Exactly.
Sure am.
What kind of relationship? I need a relationship therapist to come on down. Like, what do you mean? Like,
they don't need to know unless you paying my bills. I have 2 daughters, and I refuse to let their lifestyle slip because I made a decision. So, hey.
You know what? I'm not even gonna go.
I mean, we talking about if I could make $50,000 a week just taking a picture of my hand or putting on a cat suit.
You said a cat. Yes, stay focused. You said a cat suit.
I could do that. And, even like doing the show, put the cat suit on and straighten my hair and put some makeup on and be like, oh, it's Frankie today talking on the podcast in a cat suit, and somebody gonna pay $5.99. I got 100 people paying that, or however many. You think I won't do that? All I gotta do is post it and cha-ching.
All right, I'm gonna leave it there.
Cat suit, you just look like a superhero. That's all a cat suit is. The superheroes wear that.
Let my wife try that one.
I'm a superhero.
I'll be single with you, Shawn.
I'm a superhero. What you hating on? I'm a superhero.
Yeah, I just put the W on my chest. Hey, and put a cape on the back.
How about if you can't see your face? I'll let my wife do that. Like if you can't see her face and it's just the body aspect and clean, like it's always a mystery. No, I feel like that's a little different.
She could do that and make your bacon and your scrapple in the cat suit.
Oh, maybe a couple's OnlyFans.
Yeah, I really think somebody that can handle it. You don't got to keep it a secret. Just explain how much you're making, and at least one man is gonna be like, "I see the vision."
I know a couple of men that'll be like, "Hey, girl,
let's do it.
Can I get in the picture with you?"
Oh, that's too funny. So, all right. So while we still wait for Mike to join us, like I said, he's somewhere. It was airplane issues or whatever, and then weather issues in Dallas. So we're waiting for him to pop in. But he had to sleep in the airport for 2 days now. He hopefully should be joining the show at some point. But we got the professor on right now, and I saw a lawmaker in the news say something slick and called somebody. I don't even know if it's a.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
The way he said it.
I'm actually looking like the person today. Kind of sort of.
Well, maybe we should play the clip. Tay. Like should we play the clip and let the professor give us some insight on his thoughts on this?
Because that is when your safety, that is when your life is threatened. I'm getting there. Don't worry, Buckwheat. I'm getting there.
I'm sorry.
What I'd like to say, that's an endearing term, by the way.
The minute you have to explain it, that's an endearing term. That's exactly what it is.
She's just a friend. I didn't even ask you who she was. You already caught it. You tell me
buckwheat.
So casual.
Can we give him an A for delivery? Because I mean, as far as the dozens go, when I saw his age and his complexion, I did not expect that timing and cadence. I mean, he threw that in like he was on the block, like yo mama's so like he did that before. He done went back and forth with some people in his time.
Yeah, he know about the dozen.
Smooth, you know, he didn't say it corny like he had wrote it down and practiced it. He was like, you know, chill out, Buckwheat, I got you. Okay. Fall back over. Let me do them though. Yeah, he was racist, and I know he was scoring some points with the other races. You know, sometimes they talk about dog whistle politics when they try to be slick and say in a coded way, but he took the whole code off. He cracked the code and he just let them know, I'm with y'all. I saw that Ohio police officer that got $300,000 for talking against LeBron James. You know, the one who was saying racist stuff. The Ohio police officer raised $300,000. So there's a lot of money in public acts of racism. So if you repping the set and claiming the clique nowadays, you know, even George Zimmerman got over $300,000 when he was still locked up for killing Trayvon Martin. So, you know, it's a big business, you know, letting people know where you stand against black people.
Amazing.
Kathy, they said he was a lawmaker. Kathy, I don't know his exact name and title, but yeah, they definitely said he was a lawmaker and he was speaking, as you saw, in front of everyone, and he felt comfortable. But Professor, my thought was, how do you feel that comfortable to let that flow out in that environment? Like, where are we going I guess that just seemed weird to me. Normally you hide behind the sheet or you hide behind the curtain per se. But that flowed, that legit was like, all right, was that a fraudulent slip, or was that like, hey, what did you thought?
It says his name is Richard Holtorf, representing Colorado. I think that it's important to know that people get where they are being who they are oftentimes. He wasn't sitting by the door. He's not in a part of a marginalized or oppressed community where they got to play the game and act a certain way. I mean, sometimes, you know, people tamper down their racism a little bit, but he got where he got, letting people know where he stood. So whether he's saying law and order, or he's against immigration, or he wants to be tough on crime and have certain people out the community, or recently in Texas, they were talking about the purity of the ballot box. And that was a term they used to use when they disenfranchised African Americans. And this young man literally put that term into this new legislation, purity of the ballot box. And he was confronted on the floor of Congress. Like, did you know the history of this term? Did you know this term was used when African? And he tried to play dumb and, I didn't even know. I just like the way it sounded. So a lot of people, you know, they have a full understanding of what they're doing and the plausible deniability that comes with racist activity and legislation. They know that if they ever get caught, they can always throw their hands up and play dumb. So that's a part of the history of racism, where you can be as racist as you want to be. And then the second somebody comes and says, you know, what are you doing? You can actually not even just play dumb. You could play the victim. You see that with a lot of the Karen phenomena, where they start crying, you know, after they called the police and all that. So that's just a part of the game. You do it. And then when somebody confronts you, you say, that's a term of endearment. I've never in my life heard anybody say, you know, you my buckwheat. I love you so much. Ooh, you buckwheat. Like, nobody's ever. Not even in the Little Rascals was they using the term buckwheat. Like you can do that. You can make things up. You know, that's what power does. You're allowed to create your own reality and have others accept it as their own. That's like the definition of real power. When you could just say something is and it is. Like, this is America because I said so and I discovered it. And they just following suit till this day.
Yeah, it's a bit much, but at the same time, I guess he's going to get off because, hey, he said it's a term of endearment. I didn't mean it that way, so we got to take that for face value, right? It was a slip.
Could we see a picture of who he was talking to? Because that might make a difference. What if the person he was talking to look exactly like Buckwheat and messed up my whole argument?
No, she didn't. No.
Okay. Oh, it was a woman too? Oh, no.
Yeah. She's a beautiful black woman. Well spoken.
Like, that was not okay. Then I'd be like, oh, man, you're messing it up.
Oh, wow. You said to a woman.
No, he's so racist.
I can get it. He didn't he did apologize. He did well, I really want an apology, because when they say, well, if I offended someone. He did one of those.
That's the worst one, right? I'm sorry you took it that way. I'm sorry you couldn't handle it. I'm sorry you're not a Little Rascals fan.
I didn't mean it that way.
Wait a minute, I'm trying to find an image. Can I get an image of that lady, Shawn?
I'm looking for her because I took her out of the video, so she's not in the video.
Okay, so maybe we get the video up and then maybe screenshot. Yeah, she looked like a good auntie. She remind Auntie Keisha from. She could be the mayor of Atlanta. Like she's a fair skinned African American. Clearly, she was offended. It was a problem. So
she walked up on him. Let me see if I can pull the rest of that video. But she walked up on him.
Oh, she approached him.
Yeah, she
wanted to smoke. She wanted to smoke.
Yeah, she was ready. She was ready.
Mm-hmm.
She came ready. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I would have been in jail because I would have hit him.
But there's something to be said in our community about being called out your name. So it don't matter what you call me. If that's not my name, you already violating. And the Congress people have name tags on, so it's not like a confusion thing. This is my name, and you made a decision to give me a name, especially with the sensitive history of African Americans having their names taken and being given other names by white men. How dare you? You still giving us names? We from Kunta to Toby. You still 400 years later trying to give us names that we don't want.
Mm.
Yeah, they did take names. I always wondered where did my last name come from? I guess it came from a possible white man, huh? That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Black?
I know mine did. Smith ain't no African.
That's done with the slave owner. That's all.
You said Smith is not African? That's not
that ain't from Tanzania. That might be from Trenton. I don't know.
From Trenton, New Jersey.
I don't know.
All right, here she is.
Oh, let's see the image of her. Yeah,
let's see.
That's a good point, though. They take everything. They wanna. Okay, doctor. He having me ponder things. I'm pondering things now.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Where we at with this? See the image. Shawnee's putting up the image. And while we waiting, Michael Shawn is missing. For those people popping in, yes, you're like, where's Mike? Where's Mike? That's the same thing we want to know. He's missing. For the last 2 days, he's allegedly been stuck in the airport. We had a picture of him sleeping on his luggage. So we allegedly, I don't know if it's really. Yeah, allegedly is because I know he's concerned with someone stealing his bags or going through his stuff. But yeah, we're waiting for Mike. So bad weather in Dallas. So he's stuck in the Orlando's airport, but he said he's going to be joining the show. So as we continue to wait for Mike, we're gonna doctor said this. Yeah, there he goes. He's concerned about on his pink luggage. He's concerned. But there's Mike. That's the last time we heard from Mike. So hopefully we'll get an update soon, or here come pop in and go from there. Oh, no, you are those Yeezys.
The new John. I don't know if that's Mike. I don't know. Allegedly, this. Okay,
no, he worried about his luggage. He did say, "Yo, Jay, I'm concerned about sleeping in the airport and somebody with my bags." So I don't know.
That luggage looked like P Valley. That's a different type of case there. I don't know. I don't know if that's Mike. I don't know.
Action said the white people took Mike.
They gonna try to change his name. They called him Alfalfa.
Oh, buckwheat.
Oh man.
Oh Mike.
Poor Mike indeed. All right, so you can't find a young lady. I wanted to see what she looked like, Shawnee.
I found her, but it's just it's a process. But just in case y'all,
yes,
please call her.
Yes. Yeah, we need to leave that in his. We should keep that in his square.
They're gonna be like, Mike's camera's frozen.
Right.
Hey,
okay, here she is.
All right.
We got her.
The see if we're gonna support her. Or...
I need to put my Cash App up because I need new computers now.
Yeah. So she's a real black girl. Right, black woman.
She do look like she'll approach you if you try to say something wrong. So I'm glad he picked the right one / wrong one.
Yep.
Got the big earrings. She's like letting you know.
Out in a minute.
Yeah.
By the time she got down to the front, she probably had the pearls and the hoops in her purse. let another buckwheat come out your mouth.
Hold on, you got one
Basically, that's how she handled him.
Wow.
Basically, buckwheat.
I got your buckwheat.
I got your buckwheat.
Yeah.
I got your buckwheat.
And next he gonna say I got black friends. He gonna say I got black friends next. That's gonna be the next thing.
Yeah. She was calling for him to be kicked out.
So she called for him to be removed. Did they remove him or they let him keep? Because you know they'll be removing people quickly.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I didn't listen to the whole thing.
So we got to cancel him.
They not even removing cops to kill people. They not removing no buckwheat talking dude.
True.
He gotta get to the back of the line, man. We had Trump first. We should move him. Now we got all these cops. Then we can get to buckwheat. You know. Yeah.
That's minor. Buckwheat is minor.
Yeah,
it's just the name.
Far down on the list.
It's just the name.
What about the Andrew Brown? For those who know, we got any updates on that, Professor? Where are we at with that? I know the family saw the videos. Go ahead.
They saw 18 minutes. I mean, it's worse than what we thought initially. They said that his hands were up the whole time in sight. They said that he looked like he was ambushed. They said at one point it looked like he was on the phone, but they always said that they could see his hands. I guess maybe if you're talking on the phone and got your hand on the wheel, people just chill in the car. But they said one of the suspicions
real quick. Who is he? What happened? Which case?
Oh, Andrew Brown is the man that was killed recently in North Carolina, where they only showed the family 20 seconds of the video. That's the most popular part about that case. They might separate it from the other ones. The fact that the family only saw 20 seconds of video. Bakari Sellers, Benjamin Crump, and others did a news conference talking about how it was a travesty and how there was abilities of the local DA to basically push it up the line in a way that they can't in South Carolina, but they didn't. So there was things they could have done, to expedite the process. But long story short, the 18 minutes wasn't any better than the 20 seconds because basically they suspected the SWAT team type of rifle was used by one of the officers, and they were talking about whether the kill shot that they called it. One of the shots was delivered to the back of the head. They said that was the kill shot. So 18 minutes. The family watches this video. They're still saying that the lawyers for the deputy have said that the shooting was justified. The narrative the police are putting forth is that he tried to back up and struck one of the officers or just about struck one of the officers. The family saying ain't none of that on the video we saw, and we done saw 18 minutes. And they said the truth is going to come out. So I think we knew the truth before we even heard about the video, but apparently there's something again about racism where even when you do see the tape, word to Rodney King, with your own eyes, there's still a debate and a process and a possibility, that people are found not guilty. So I guess where we are is back where we've been so many times before.
Yeah, when they were dancing around with not wanting to show any of the footage, we knew at that point something ain't right.
They blurred out the officers' faces in the video. The family said that the faces were blurred out. But at the same time, they released all his criminal history to the press.
Yeah.
Of course.
Did the Mike Brown on him. So you can tell all my business, but you can't even tell who killed me to my family.
My wife always says that, like, why do they always try to paint out to be this harsh criminal? Like, what does his past have to do with that particular situation? If he stole a car when he was 18, what does that matter when him being shot dead with 30 years later? Like, why do they?
The death penalty for Grand Theft Auto anyway. Like,
you said it's not the death penalty.
Yeah, even if you stole cars every day, you don't kill people for stealing cars.
Oh yeah. But yeah, they quick to highlight that past history, but the cop, like you said, we can't even know exactly what they look like because they don't want people at the door, at homie's house. They got to protect their own. I mean, I guess is that the thought process?
Well, and the news media is completely complicit because you got people with name tags and all that, like I said before, and the news media, they can talk to people on the scene. They know who did it. So you got to understand that when the media says an unidentified officer, they're choosing not to identify that officer. They're working in tandem with the police department, like the sixth branch of the state. And sometimes people get confused and think, oh, the name hasn't been released. No, there's a whole network of people that have full understanding of exactly who these people are, and they work together to not tell Black people. And they make a decision to put forth that criminal history because when the press receives something, they don't have to put it out. So just because they released it to the press doesn't mean the press has to show it to the world. So this is an interesting, devilish, network of people who work together to cover up for the police, but then promote the negativity of murder victims in the Black community.
But David got a good point there, Professor. Like, how do you get justice in this case, though? Like, what do? I mean, I ain't gonna say what can I do because I don't want to put that pressure on me. Like, what can I do personally? I'm kind of lazy. But like, what can we do as a society? Like, how do we get justice for this? Like, what do we do?
I think the first step is just to face reality. That conversation that we had, that when the officer, y'all friend, the officer called in, I think that's going to be really valuable for replay, like 10, 20 years from now, when people understand fully where we were in terms of the culture of policing and how some people were holding the line, gatekeeping and protecting oppressors and oppressive institutions, and basically, you know, lying to their own people about the realities they were well aware of. If we're aware about the culture of arrogance and racism and violence in police departments, you best believe people who worked as police officers are aware also. Like, stop playing. And these black police officers who've been playing games, then once the truth comes out, you know what they try to do? They try to switch sides at the end and be like, oh, Black Lives Matter. No. You knew the whole time. You wanted raises. You wanted stripes and bars. You didn't want to make waves. You wanted backup to come when you called. I'm not saying every reason ain't justified. You're not under a lot of pressure. But you ain't reporting out one of these racist cops a day in your life. You ain't have no fights. This sister done walked down on the floor of Congress be getting called buckwheat. I know if you're a black cop, you done heard a lot worse. Who you approach, who you knock out, who you step to, who you go and tell the community is going to be out to kill their children. I ain't never had no cop come around and say these cops are racist. Watch out, they might beat, abuse, rape, or abuse. No, so there's a line that's being held by a lot of people that look like us. And I think when people look back, they're going to say the first part was admitting it was a reality, because that's what we're fighting against now. We got too many people in our community who don't want to admit the culture of policing, since it started as the slave patrol and the slave catchers. The SWAT team started with the shootout with the Black Panther Party, where they fired over 30,000 rounds of ammunition at 15 Panthers, right? That's how the SWAT team started. They still got the patch on their arm that talks about that conflict at that location. So from them catching us on plantations to shooting at us in the 60s, this is the evolution of policing. Anybody who joins this institution and wants to play like just because you got a cat out of a tree or directed traffic that you change the nature of an institution because your individual behavior is either stupid and an agent or a traitor or needs a lesson. That's what we need to do. We need to go coon hunting for real, badge or not. Stop playing, because our children are dying, and anybody getting in the way of me addressing the murder of our babies needs to be dealt with accordingly. So call up today and talk that talk, because you can see I want to smoke buckwheat in the
building. So, Professor, okay, if I'm an officer and I see this going on, but however, I'm afraid to go make this report, what advice do you have for me to make it happen and start something?
This is the funny part, though. You know, they be the first ones talking about, yo, we run toward the gunshots. We got to make split-second decisions. Every day our life's on the line. If you built like that, why can't you write a report? I'll wait. You can run toward a gunshot, but you can't fill out a report. Get a new job. Get a new job. You in the wrong line of work if you can't fill out a report. So you could kill children, but you could kill our babies, but you can't fill out a report. Oh, I see. Don't play with me. I fill out if I'm about that life so I could shoot a child. If I could run toward a gunshot, then ain't nothing in the world gonna make me afraid of a report. I'm lost. No, because in the hood they say keep that same energy. The same energy you had with Trayvon Martin, the same energy you had with Andrew Brown, same energy you had with Sandra Bland. When you kicked down Breonna Taylor's door in the middle of the night while she was sleeping and y'all was assault rifling up the whole walls and you shot that sister dead. When you was all about it and gangster, be gangster with that pen. If you could be gangster with that pistol, be gangster with that pen. And until you can keep that same energy with a piece of paper that you keep with my people, then fall back and get a new job or defund the police and take your badge off. You're not built for this. They killing children. You can't tell? You can't write it down? Get the fuck away, man.
You're going to get canceled. You said defund the police. Now you're going to get canceled. You can't say defund
it. In the building. I was born canceled. I'm black. And that's what too many of them don't know, and that's why they play the game. They think they got a chance to join the cool kids table when if they look throughout history, at what happened to these people who took these butter biscuits and crumbs and little pats on the head and what they call meritorious manumission. Back in the 1700s in Virginia, there's something called meritorious manumission, where a slave can get his freedom. An enslaved African can get his freedom by creating an invention that makes business better for the white man, or by saving the master's life, or by telling on a possible rebellion of other enslaved Africans. So there was always a reward for snitching and doing your brothers and sisters dirty and making your master rich and happy, right? That whole slave field and house slave, we sick. That was big business even back in the day. So people knew that it was law, meritorious manumission. So when they talk about Willie Lynch, whether it was a real or not letter, you tell them I don't know about that, but meritorious manumission was and is very real. So when you go against black people, or when you say I can control them, shout out to cops. When you say I can control them, I know how they talk, and I'm from there, and I can go in the community and I can corral them, and I'll be like a little Negro whisperer. There's always been a whole lot of money flowing into that small minority of black people. And it's something called the Mississippi Sovereignty Commission. The Mississippi Sovereignty Commission was the civil rights agency in Mississippi that reported on the civil rights activities of black people, and they hired other black people. Mississippi Sovereignty Commission was black people during the civil rights movement that reported other black people for trying to organize, and they worked for the Mississippi government and the FBI. So there's always been some black folks willing to tear our backs all the way out, get us assassinated, set up, jailed, and killed. So when they start talking sweet about what they did in the community, I'm like, man, I done studied y'all for the last 300 years. They used to use black people to whip other black people. Even when she said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Y'all remember that phrase in history?
Sick and tired of being sick and tired.
So when Fannie Lou Hamer was arrested, she walked from a plantation where she worked to go vote, and they stopped her. And when she went back to the plantation, she lost her job on a plantation because she went to try to vote. At one point in her life, she got arrested. When she was arrested, they didn't beat her up. They made the black male prisoners take the billy clubs and the belts and beat her to the point that her eye socket was permanently bruised. When her dress would fly up, she would try to put it down, and they would make sure her dress stayed up. And these two black men were beating her so bad that she said that she forgave them because she knew that if they didn't beat her, they would have killed them. Because she understood the system. That's an elevated level of grace and strategy and understanding of oppression that can help liberate people. Because Malcolm said, I don't blame the puppet, I blame the puppeteer. And too many of these puppets are talking, and we need to talk to their boss that's really pulling the strings.
But I mean, that's a deep concept, because either if I get killed, if I don't beat you, well, guess what, Professor? I'm gonna beat you, yeah. So it's like, hey, am I gonna jeopardize my life, put my life on the line?
I don't know. A systems analysis. Leonard Jeffries said, without a systems analysis, you got a paralysis of analysis. We got to get to the root. You can't prune a problem.
Hold on, you done stunned me with these
words. You can't start in the middle and say, I'm gonna solve this.
Can't get in the middle.
Is the system. There's a movie called The Wizard of Oz, right? And when the queen was melting and all that, everything got pretty. Once they got to the root of it, they didn't have to worry about every little flower and every little scene. All you got to do is stop this negative generator of evil, and the rest will take care of itself. So that's why they say we got to stop this system of racism, white supremacy, the institutions that back it up. It's not about people being nice to each other. It's about banks not giving loans, schools not teaching true history, police departments disproportionately locking up people. In the Ferguson report, they said 98% of the time they used dogs was against black people. What? With the sensitive history of black people having dogs sicked on them, you would think that would not be the case. But you have a school system and a media, and you have like everybody supporting at the base level this byproduct. So I don't focus on the byproduct. I don't focus on, well, what do I do if I'm in a position? It's just like musical chairs. You ever play musical chairs?
Yeah. Yep.
Everybody pushes each other down when the music stops playing, right? Nobody stops and thinks, why isn't there enough chairs out here? And who the hell is the one playing the music? And if you ever look at game musical chairs, whoever playing the music is always laughing.
Yeah.
They always win. The person who plays the music is laughing before the game starts because they designed the game and they know what the product's going to be. Y'all going to go at each other. You're going to knock your own aunt down at the family reunion. Ain't even no prize, but you knocking your aunt and your cousins down on the floor.
It's a game though, right?
It's a game. Listen to this. There's enough chairs right in the other room. So I could have designed it so there's no competition. I could have let the music just play without stopping it, and everybody can either dance or have a seat. I designed it specifically so there's not enough to make it so you will compete with each other and I will have fun watching. And people need to stop and say, who is the puppeteer, who is the designer. Let's go behind the curtain, word the Wizard of Oz, and just stop this game. Don't worry about the rules and, well, what am I gonna do? There's only one chair. I gotta knock it down. No, let's go find out who put the one chair here for 10 people, who's playing the music, go behind the curtain, shut the game down, go get all them other chairs, and we can all just sit down and chill out. But too many black people is like, well, only one chair, I'm knocking everybody down. That's why we need a systems analysis so they can look around and be like, wow, this is a messed up system. 10 chairs, 20 family members.
Juan earlier brought up a good comment. I was curious. He said you could have have the professor talk with that lawmaker. Like, what would the opposing views be? Like when you having these debates in your classes at at Temple University and people challenge you on your points. Like what are some of their facts that they try to throw at you, and how do you respond back?
I just give them the receipts. Like a lot of things we talk about is about history, and you can't argue history with an opinion. Like when they say the ancient Egyptians was white people, and then I show them all the pics, like the Afro combs that was right there with the people, and I'll be like, what are those? Like the shoes, what are those, right? And then I show them the waves and the weaves and the braids and and the names like Afua and Akhenaten. I'm like you think like at what point in time was there white women named Afua? I know Sigourney Weaver played Queen Afua in the movie, but that's a different story for a different day. But when I show them the beads and the braids and the names and the language and the fact that it's Africa, and last I checked, right, the temperature, and I show them the pictures on the wall, you can't put your opinion against an artifact. If I show you an artifact, you got to bring me an artifact. And if I'm bringing you artifacts before anybody else existed on the planet, I'm talking about the whole planet was black people. A lot of people don't talk about the world this way, but there was a time 2/3 of human history occurred on the continent of Africa. That means the majority of time that people have been people and on the planet, they've been all black. No racism, no nothing, all black people. And apparently they got along pretty good, because to the point where even when white people was going to school, they would come to Africa to learn. Socrates, Plato, and the like, right? So I showed my students that only 8,000 years ago was this trait for whiteness even created through genetic mutation. So anytime they talk about 10,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, they wasn't even here. So it's ironic when I read their books and they got pictures of themselves at a time where their own science says nobody had this genetic mutation or representation phenotypically of white skin. And I just be shaking my head like, it's like watching somebody that got a girl bring his side joint to an event, but nobody knew he was bringing his side joint, but everybody got to play it off like they don't know that that's his side joint. But then other girls is like, yo, that's not his right. Chill, just let him live. Like that's how I be feeling when other teachers be teaching. I be sitting there like, I want to do Q&A, But usually I don't have too many problems when you come with the receipts.
But let's bring Sexy Mo in. I see, because we're gonna do a lot of alleged with Sexy Mo. But that reminds me of Tennessee. I saw something happen in Tennessee where they're taking funds away if the teachers want to teach what real, I guess, Black history is. Like, do you have the image? It's some law. The image. Did you hear about that, Professor? I'm sure you probably did.
Yeah, because the 1619 Project made a lot of waves, with that series that they did in New York Times. And they were talking about, what they should be talking about. This is great, true history. Let's incorporate it into the curriculum. There's so much violence going on. We debated the Ma'Khia Bryant situation, right? And Mike was talking about these grown women going to this young girl's house, to have a fight. And people always ask, where does this start? Well, it starts with education. People go to school for about 7 to 9 hours a day, and people are home about 3 to 5 hours a day. So if I'm going to be raised from the ages of 3 to 18, and I'm going to spend the majority of my time in one institution, then that institution is the primary shaper and socializer of the child, especially when at one point in their life, their peer group becomes more influential than their parents. So if my peers are more influential than my parents, and I'm spending more time in school than I am at home, you already know where it comes from. People always say, well, how did this happen? School. I spent 80% of my life as a young person in school or school-related activities, even after school, whether it's proms or track meets. So there's no mystery about where we create the next generation. It's in school. So if you want to change the people that are going to fight at people's houses, feed them different information, feed them different examples, create different opportunities. Because 30 years ago, that was not happening. In the 70s, we were outpacing every other demographic in terms of staying married and all that other stuff. Even on the plantation, we was valuing family and not running down on each other. So something happened. There's changes that were made. And one of those changes was, like Malcolm said, our enemies started to educate our children.
Yeah, because the lawmakers in Tennessee, for those who missed it, they passed the bill that would withhold funds from schools when students are taught about systemic racism and white privilege. So they're taking money away. They're withholding those funds if the schools are going to teach about that. So systemic racism doesn't exist. They don't want it taught. You know, they don't want white privilege talked about and discussed. So if you do that as a teacher, your funds are removed.
I'm gonna give them one thing, and then y'all can just talk to Mo, and I'm gonna fall back because I get so upset with this nonsense.
No, we want you to keep going.
No, this is good though. But this is what I'm gonna give you a takeaway. You don't need a bunch of degrees for this. If ever you have this position presented to you or a problem of this nature, you ask two simple questions. The first question is name all the ways systemically, historically, institutionally that whites en masse have made life more difficult for African Americans. Let's access opportunity, resources, maybe even potentially injuries until death. Like name for me the ways that white people collectively, institutionally, systemically have held black people back. You know what my class says? Redlining, slavery, lynching. What else do they say? Y'all know some. Oh, medical experimentation, Tuskegee and all that, right? The institutions and systems that have deprived, and right? So bank loans, homes, military, right? Disproportionate, like, you know, like 70% at some point of these frontline soldiers were Black African American in Vietnam, like real crazy numbers, right? So they're saying they use about 5 to 8 ways that white, and then I say, okay, question number 2. Name all the ways throughout the history of America that Black people en masse have created institutions, systems, laws that have held white people back. And go. The conversation is reframed from that point on. Nobody
not
plays.
Even one.
You don't hear reverse racism again. You don't hear none of that ever again. I learned that from Joy DeGroy. She's the author of a book called The Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. She says she likes to start conversations that way to frame them appropriately so people don't get confused about, you know, some level of false equivocation or equality that really doesn't exist. I mean, you could do it with women and men. You could, like, it just, you got to be real. If there's a dominant group that's made a reality, like men made this world that women are participating in. So if you want to critique it on a foundational level, you're not critiquing women too. No, men decided that there was this voting system. Men decided there was land ownership system. And then women got opportunities to participate through struggle. But it's not the other way around. It's not like, oh yeah, women also made a world that, no, I'm not saying that people can't be individually culpable of making life bad for people. I'm not saying she a gold digger. Like bad things can happen. Women could be, you know, mean and bad people too. But if you want to talk about systems and institutions, right, then it's a one-way street. When it comes to race and gender, it's a one-way street. Men have created them. And if you want to talk about what race, white, period. And a lot of people try to get confused and be like, well, how do you say that's not a privilege? To come from the group that created the world for the other people, that named them, that has changed their name, that decided when they can vote, when they could be jurors, when they could even accuse somebody of raping them. Like there was a time where if you got raped, you had nobody to tell. No cop cared, no judge cared. That's because men decided, nah. And that's because white people decided for Black people, nah. How do you say that's not a privilege? The life of your grandmother doesn't affect your life? My grandmother couldn't be a fashion designer. She went to school. She had great fashion designs. They told her to her face, we don't hire colors and this and that. My grandmother in my own lifetime could not live her life, could not fulfill her dreams, could not be a full human being. You think that doesn't impact me? Even financially, like what would I have been left if she had been some big design? Like to say that it doesn't matter is like really to really trample on the legacy of our ancestors and act as though we are not our ancestors.
So when they say forget it, that was 400 years ago, Professor. Why you keep bringing it up? Get over it. It's done. Y'all keep harping on the past. We moving forward.
Then you tell them, then why y'all still reenacting the Civil War every year and the Revolutionary War, getting all dressed up, going out in the fields, 50, 60-year-old men drinking out of canteens, dressing like Robert E. Lee. And then you spin around and talk about 2,000 years ago when you talk about the Bible or the Quran. So you can go back as far as you want when you feel like it, but I can't go back 300 years. And matter of fact, it's only been 150 something years since the Emancipation Proclamation. So you can go back 2,000 years, 400 years, but I can't go back 150. You playing with the wrong one.
Speak about it.
I can do math. I know that the 2000 is and 400 is above 150. I could do that. I'm not a mathematician, but last time I checked, word to Nipsey and YG, last time that I checked, 150 years ago is something that they talk about every July 4th. They go 1776 every July 4th, but I can't go 1856 and 1863 and 1865. Wow, ain't that hypocritical? Keep that same energy. You can go back to 1776, so can I. Matter of fact, I'm gonna one up you. I'm gonna see your 1776, and I'm gonna go 1619. First Africans arrived on the shores of our mountain. Shoot. And first of all, who are you to tell me how I should look at history and chronology and my ancestors and my life? Shut up. Like, we don't do that to them. We don't be like, that was a long time ago, the Civil War. That was a long time ago with Jesus Christ. So what if it was a long time ago? What does that mean? What part of the game is this that a long time ago means it don't matter anymore? I heard somebody say that the world is ruled by the ideas of dead people. Whether it's your Constitution, your Declaration of Independence, your Bible, your Quran, these are the people that have passed who still govern our lives. So what happened before plays a major part in the contemporary context of people's daily lives. Why would you negate that all of a sudden and act as though, if it happened a certain amount of time ago, it don't matter? The matters, right? That was over 150 years ago. That matters. So why would we act like what's hanging up in the court today if you get locked up, which could decide whether you live your life in a cage or free, is legitimate, but I can't even grieve or ask for some reparations for something that like this is. I'm telling you, the best education you could get is in the club and peeping game. I tell my students, I don't care what you learn. I don't want you to know all the facts. I want you to be able to peep game. Because if you can know game, a girl could see a guy across the room in a club with dark lights and loud music and smoke and everything, and her girlfriend would be like, "Girl, don't even turn around." If I start to walk, just walk away.
Yeah.
Right?
Just
See, women
walking.
are laughing because they know. If you can keep game and feel energy, you can keep yourself safe. And women, being a marginalized group, need that, because when women leave a building and it's dark outside, they have to have a whole Madden strategy. Girl, I'm on the phone. I got my mace. I'm going to call you. I'll drop my location. See, when you're not part of a marginalized society, it's not part of your daily reality. So even if a woman hasn't been attacked, the threat of attack is still part of her life, because just occupying that body and that identity could cost her life if she doesn't know the insecurities or dangers that are presented by the dominant group. Same thing with black people getting pulled over by the police and black people dealing with white people. If I don't know how scared they are of me, it could cost me everything.
Right.
Wow. I mean, this is very impactful. Everything. I'm like, wow, okay. But what Action just said made me think. So 1965, that's when civil rights, like, wow, like that wasn't 100 years ago.
That's when we became full citizens in the legal context in terms of voting. Yeah, that's how long we've been doing it. We've been here for about 50-something, 60 years. Because before that, like I said, people weren't able to exercise or be enfranchised with the Republic experiment to the full extent, from poll taxes and grandfather clauses and everything else, and people literally getting killed trying to vote, right? Like this was till the late 60s, early 70s, people say, with the lynching, and some people say there's been lynchings recently with some of these, cases we've seen. So thousands of, there's a book called 100 Years of Lynching by a man named Ginsburg, where he just puts the newspaper articles, and you can see wherever you're from. It'll say Philadelphia, Negro ran down Broad Street, was chased by a mob of 300. They cut off his fingers and this and that. Like, they was talking about it. They wrote in their papers. They took pictures and made postcards. I was talking with a man from LaSalle, a professor, debating on Fox one time, and he was like, and this is something they always say, it's different now because we got cameras. I said, you ain't gonna play me like that. I waited my turn. I didn't jump in. I let him finish. I did the Kanye. I'm gonna let you finish. I said, when we was being lynched, they was taking pictures and using them as postcards. Let's not act like we just learned about this level of violence because of some new technology and smartphones. He started stuttering. He got all red. Like you just got to know how to checkmate them without talking too much, because they'll try to play. And I heard black people say that too. Well, now it's on camera, body cameras. I'm like, yo, they had cameras. They was bringing the camera. They was like, yo, we finished burning them and shooting them and lynching them. Bring the camera. And you can see them all posed up, smiling. They brought their children there. You know what kind of psychological trip it is for a child to witness a murder and a mutilation? They was in church advertising, this Sunday, we going to lynch a Negro. We got special trains running. Buy your tickets in the back after church. They got all dressed up. You see them in the pictures dressed in their best, pointing, smiling.
So those kids
and if you think that changes just because Barack got elected, if you think that changes because rap music started, then you don't understand the true nature and history of culture and the psychology of a people who have been comfortable with murdering black people and even deriving pleasure, right? Celebrating the spectacle, lynching, and murder of black people for hundreds of years.
So what do you say to those people say we have come a long ways for them even to elect the black guy? Like, you can't ignore that, right? What do you say to those people?
Crispy Attucks was a black guy when he died before the war. Like, they always put black people up front to take the brunt. The nation was falling apart. The auto industry was failing. Like we got to remember where he picked it up at. They'll let a black person come clean up their mess. They've been doing that since the plantation days. They say they can do it. They try their best, and when they can't, they go get some black people to fix it up. Like we've known that. We've known that Harriet Tubman was a spy in the Union Army. Frederick Douglass had to advise Lincoln on what to do, the same way that Martin Luther King was advising Johnson. Johnson didn't have the plan. Martin Luther King's plan of America is more of what we live. Lincoln didn't have the plan. Lincoln said, I would say, if I can save the Union without freeing a single slave, I would, and I don't have to leave jurors or voters out of Negroes. He said there's a physical difference between the two, and the superior position speaks to white race. Lincoln was talking like Trump. It was Frederick Douglass that was saying, hey, man, I don't know, man. These demographics are changing, and think about the future. So Frederick Douglass' vision is the vision that we credit Lincoln for understanding. We credit Johnson for him listening to Dr. King. It's always been black people, the canaries in the mine, who have a real intimate reality with the real America that can help direct America and be the conscience of the country. So I wouldn't be surprised if white people fell on their face again after Bush and all that. They're like, Dad, we need some help. Bring that bell. Call that Negro in here. Normal people wouldn't have given him a chance. They gave him a chance because the white people messed it up so bad that they said, we're not less racist, but we're practical enough to know when we need a Negro. And all they're going to do is not give him his full credit anyway. They know the drill. We're going to have him come in, like the dude who made Jack Daniels, and then we're going to take the credit.
Right.
Do all the innovating and saving, and we'll just put a white face on it in the end anyway. So go ahead and let them go to work.
And I see Tosh mentioned reparations, and I thought about that story in Illinois that they were giving the reparations money. Right. They had about $400,000 that they were giving to 16 black families. They had to use the $25,000 went to each family, and they had to use it to remodel their house in that particular city. So I was like, oh, we got reparations, we good. But like, what are your thoughts on that? I guess because my thought is like, I guess they trying to give some money, but I guess they putting stipulations on who can get it and how you must use it. So is that really reparations?
Only for black people. They didn't do that with the victims and the surviving family members of the Holocaust. They didn't do that with Japanese internment. They didn't tell them how to spend it. But the other thing they didn't do is wonder what they was going to spend it on. For black people, it's always like, well, what are we going to do with it? And I'm like, when did that matter? Everybody else gets their reparations. They can go smoke crack if they want. It's not. You're not receiving the money based on what you might do with it. You're receiving the money based on what happened to your people. Like, just give me the money. And how are you going to decide what the number is? Because if somebody says somebody was abused and they pay restitution, you might pay $20,000 just to punch somebody in the face. If you're rich, you might pay a couple million. So how do you put a number on 250 years of raping?
And pain. How do you even amass what somebody's pain is worth?
Well, they said 25,000, 25,000, but you got to do it to remodel your house. So you don't even get the money. It goes right to the contractor is doing it. And it's only to help that city out. I mean, you can see right through this. Like, all right, I want to build up this community to make our houses better. So I'm going to give you this money called reparations, but you must hand that check over to that contractor. Actually, we want to give it directly to the contractor so you can make the houses better to make the property value go up for this area. So, I mean, I guess you're getting equity out of it in the end, maybe when you go to sell it.
Well, whoever controls the system gets paid in the end. What even Kanye? He said drug dealer buys Jordans, crackhead buy crack, and the white man get paid off of all of that. The number they're throwing around has been 10 to 13 trillion. That's what they were saying for reparations. And all they're calculating is how many enslaved Africans and how many hours they worked, which goes to Mo's point. They're not even thinking about the pain. Like, what about the trauma of somebody breeding you like cattle, forcing a mother to sleep with a son because it might produce a stronger enslaved African to work? This is what they did. They had breeding farms where they matched people up. They might have one man impregnate 7 sisters, and if he was related to them, they didn't care. They had sex farms where they had children, like a brothel, where they had white men going in and just using our children for their sexual. Like, they don't talk about none of this stuff.
I call it shut the hell up.
They act like people just went to work, got whipped once in a while, and that was it. Like, no. If you want to calculate how much you really owe, like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and other people have said, you owe the whole country because you stole it. And that's why they don't want to start having the conversation, because they know how deep the rabbit hole goes. And we don't have a clue. We're on the surface of how deep the rabbit hole really goes, because behind us is going to be all these indigenous people talking about they made 200 treaties with us. Then people in Africa are going to be like, well, they came to Africa and they started apartheid and act like they was there. And they started stealing all the gold, the diamonds, the mineral, the copper, the coltan, the cobalt, right? And now Switzerland's rich and Belgium's rich and France is rich. And the queen and the family is the biggest real estate holder in the world. So they know that if they let the lid off this racism thing and start paying people back, they're the last people in the human family to get on the planet, but somehow they own the best part of the planet everywhere on the planet, even in Africa. So they know that they run a mean game on the darker peoples of the planet. There's no place in the world where people who occupy the classification as white and others, the people who occupy the classification as white do not occupy the better position in life. Even if you go to South Africa. So they know that it's not by accident and it's not because they harder workers. Nobody works harder than a slave. So they know that they have gotten over big time. They haven't been held accountable for any of these murders. Nobody from these lynchings has even been convicted and tried. Like this is. That's why they walk around scared. That's why they get in elevators and they be damn near trembling, because deep down, somewhere in their spirit, they know that they owe, and that it ain't balanced and it ain't made right. And they know that if we ever woke up, the sleeping giant, black people, especially in America, if we ever woke up to what's really going on and what was really taken and what's really being done, we would snap out. And that's why they be always scared and convincing each other like, oh, Mike Brown ran toward the gun. Black people are like, who would run toward a gun? But white people are like, because they've always feared us having
comply. They say comply, Professor Mike. They didn't comply. All these African Americans, they got shot by the police. They should have just complied, and they would be alive right now. That's what all the comments I read.
But then when all the white people don't comply, they still live.
Yeah, they still alive. They driving over.
Like I said, keep that same energy. If non-compliance is a justification for murder, then everybody from Dylan Roof to the Batman theater shoot 'em upper and all the dude that stabbed the cop in the neck recently with the guy who's outside the casino shooting down into the crowd with his all the people should be gone. All of them got arrested.
Don't deem them to be a threat.
Yeah, they just having a bad day.
A bad day, yeah, with the Asian spy hate crime. The cop said he was having a bad after he killed 8 people. But that's how racism works. You always have your humanity if you're part of the dominant group. And if you're not part of that group, you never have your humanity. You can go to Harvard, have a white mom from Kansas, and drop bombs on Libya and be the president of the United States, and people still call you an alien, communist, terrorist, Kenyan, socialist. Like you're never good enough. But meanwhile, you could be a 3-tooth meth head hillbilly shooting up everybody that ain't white, and just a bad day. You're still a human being. The Boston bomber was on the cover of the Rolling Stone looking like a rock star. Look like album was coming out.
Idolize.
They always see your humanity, and for black people, they never see your humanity, and that's how the system is designed. And that's why even people that go to the highest heights let you do one thing, and it's not a sliding scale. Oh, he made a mistake, had a bad day. It's I knew it. I don't care if it's LeBron James. Tomorrow, whatever the next black man scandal is, you watch how fast the world is ready to believe it, buy into it, and totally cancel him and dismiss him. It's because somewhere in their mind, that's what they thought of him in the first place.
But we also do it to our own. We cancel culture faster than anybody. If one of our own do something, it's like, oh yeah, cancel that person, without a doubt, without a blink of an eye. So.
And Shorty Doo-Wop, Tosh says she's nervous for her son. He's scared around police, but I mean, you gotta trust and need the police, though, right? I'm like, don't you like? We still gotta call 911. We still going to need the officers, so we can't be scared around them. So I guess how does she teach her son to navigate?
Well, I don't actually at this point. I gotta be honest with you.
You don't?
No, I don't. Well, I didn't really back then. I tried it for a little while. I tried to be a civilian, and it was like a couple years of my life where I was like, you know what, I'm a public figure. Hey. But I realized that when the police arrive, I'm not a public figure. I'm a public. And it's almost the more status you have, the more resentful they are of you. There's something back in the day called uppity. Ida B. Wells, who wrote the Red Letter, her friend was murdered because he had a store that was competing with the white store. He wasn't killed because he was drinking. He wasn't killed because he was acting ignorant. They was killing them black people that posed a real threat to the economics or the image of black people that they didn't want to believe was true. So when they see something, I don't help myself any by saying I'm Dr. Smith. I better keep that to myself.
Oh, you the rapping professor from
because you
I'm saying when the cops come, the last thing I'm gonna say.
You think you all that? Oh, okay. I saw your videos going viral. I saw you on that Jamie Foxx show, and you won that $1 million. By the way, the rapping professor was on the Jamie Foxx show Shazam, and he won the $1 million for guessing all the songs.
You have to put his money out there.
I'm in North Philly, man. You can't count my kids.
You can't be doing that.
Hey, I saw you on TV. I see
somebody say in the hood we don't call them. Shout out to you, Red, because that's what I'm saying. It was just there earlier today, beating people, abusing people. I'm not gonna be at night calling them back up. And then when we hear the gunshots, they don't come.
I lived on 15th and Ridge. We heard gunshots so often. I never heard them like just show up because somebody said gunshots. They would wait till we found a body. Honestly, if somebody called in and said there's gunshots outside, they would not show up for that. They would wait
it's
till
normalized.
Yeah, people started coming out and say, "Oh my God, my baby!" And then the community, like those would be the times the cops would show up. So it's like, you know what? You wouldn't do this if a cop was shot at. So we clearly see there's a hierarchy. That's why you have a different code for cop down than somebody else down. Or you just say person shot, but you purposely say officer down, shots fired, officer. You say that because there's a different energy when it's y'all. And that's no problem. Most people have a different energy when it comes to their own thing, but then they try to come around and act like it's not the case. We see your funerals. We see how you investigate when it's you. It's 10 times or 100 times different than when it's us. So you don't care. And anybody with lethal force who doesn't care and is too scared to do a report, I'm not calling that person. Because honestly, the stuff that we go through, I need somebody who's ready. I'm gonna call my cousin to somebody. I know who I'm gonna call.
The problem with calling it, like Tosh was saying, you call, like Red said, like you call your peoples, but now your peoples come out. Now it's gunplay involved. Now things are elevated. Now you running from the law. Now you. I mean, is that really the right way to go? Like,
but how many times do we see, even with Mekhi Bryant, the people who call the police are the ones getting killed?
Exactly.
Like the fact that that's even a possibility. I'm not placing no call that might end up getting me killed. I'm not placing that call. There's a chance when I call and say,
it shouldn't. Huh? It shouldn't endanger you. It shouldn't. It should be a safe place to. In theory.
Yeah,
but if you don't feel protected, why would you call somebody who you fear that can do you harm or can do you more harm than the situation that you're in
and get away with
it? You're
not.
Yeah,
I got hit by a black dude ran into the back of me. Well, he hit a couple cars. He was drunk. And the white lady and the Mexican lady jumped out the car and they were like, call the police. And I'm like, no, I ain't calling the police. And it was a problem because I'm like, this man I could look at him and tell he was gone. It was 11 o'clock in the morning. He was contemplating life and death. I'm like, I went up to his car and, hey, you okay? He wouldn't even look at me. But once he had the opportunity to drive off, he drove off. I was like, I'm not calling the police on him. Yeah, I'm upset that he ran into the back of me, but I don't want to be the one to call the police and then they shoot this man because he ain't even cooperating with me. Don't want him to hurt nobody else, but he's having a bad day. So let's let him
very bad day.
He having a bad day. I'm sorry he hit your car, but he ran into the back of me. My car brand new. Okay, so it's okay.
He's having a bad day like Michael Shawn is.
Bad day.
He's having a bad day like Michael Shawn. Like Michael Shawn. For those who just joined in, Michael Shawn has been stuck at the airport, people, for the last 2 days. That's why y'all got a best of yesterday. And then today, Dallas has some really bad weather, so he's been stuck. Yeah, so help us find. I'll see the image up on here. Help us find Mike. The professor said we need to put his Cash App out there. He needs help. So he's been sleeping at an actual Orlando airport because the weather's been so bad in Dallas that
that's the worst feeling ever.
I'm pretty sure he's not smiling like that. I'm pretty sure he's not smiling.
Somebody sent another picture.
Oh, because we had one of him sleeping on his bag. Yeah. I think we got another photo.
He's moved.
Oh, he's moved.
He's in a better position. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see where he's going out.
Still. At least he's at the right gate. He knows what gate he's at. 17.
Michael Shawn. No. Mike said he's going to join the show. It don't look like no time soon.
Yeah.
He promised me though.
He knows the gate number.
Yeah, he promised. He's going to be joining the show. He promised. So we're definitely going to have Michael Shawn join us and give us an update of where he's at and what's going on. I really like this talk. As much as I want to get into the Portia Williams and get y'all thoughts and the Tristan Thompson and the side piece and the lawyers.
We don't get this often.
But the professor, you got me. I'm like, I feel like I'm in one of your classes right now. I'm guessing, like I need more. I want to know more, like enlighten me. Like what's something else on your, I feel like we need to take a break and come back.
I think Paul got a good point. Paul was saying the police want us to fear them. It's always been part of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to think about that. Are they coming into the community to make people feel safe or to establish some degree of a power dynamic where they're in control? And most people, especially black men, could attest to there's always this pissing contest thing where it's like, for no reason, just showing. And it's like no, you can give them the control, you can concede, you can defer, and it's still this energy where it's like, dude, nobody's trying to do nothing, and everybody's been in that situation where they just trying to go along to get along, and the cop is still being so extra.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know anybody who hasn't been in that situation, and sometimes they still make it out, they still avoid arrest or avoid abuse, but the cop was still, if they could possibly arrest you or assault you, they were going to try at every corner turn to take that opportunity. And that's why every time there's these lights behind us, the heartbeat is skipping and people feel this way, because we know that those cops exist, and it doesn't have to be everyone. That's like somebody saying, yo, I made you some cupcakes, one of them poisonous though, but go ahead and enjoy. You're gonna be like, I'd rather just not eat right now. It's not a cupcake, man. Just grab one.
I was not pulled over, but I was pulled into a handicap spot, right? And so the police officer, he pulls in and blocks me in. So if you've ever been to some of the Chick-fil-A's, some of the Chick-fil-A's, they're real tight. The parking lot is tight. So I'm pulling in to get out of the way of other vehicles, right? So he blocks me in. I got it in drive. Luckily, I looked back again, so I didn't hit the car. But he gets out. He says, let me see your license and registration. So I'm like, why? And so I see my son. My son is autistic. He's very fidgety, and he's moving around. So he turns around and he looks. He's like, "Oh, police officer. My dad's a police officer. My uncle's a police officer. And so, do you work with him?" So he starts to ask these questions, and I am nervous because the cop is looking in the back of the truck, because I have tint. And so I'm steady saying to my son, "Wait a minute," because for me, I'm like, okay, any sudden movement, anything, he's not looking at this little boy as a child. He's looking at him like he's moving all around. And it just made me so nervous. I don't think I've ever been that scared. He ended up writing me a ticket.
Well, yeah, because you were wrong. You should have pulled in a handicap. I mean,
I actually have a handicap. I have a handicap placard. Okay.
So why you get a ticket?
I explained to him the situation. And so he said, yeah, but you can't pull in here at all with the handicap placard, unless you're actually getting out of the vehicle.
Oh, wow.
So who knew that was a law? You can't pull in. He said, because if somebody else wants to use it, they couldn't. So I was honest, like, no, I'm not parking here.
I was about to see you go being honest.
I'm just pulling in, being honest. And he wrote me a ticket.
Who knew?
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah,
I said, sir, my son, and he didn't care. He was like, well, I got kids at home who are disabled as well. Wrote me a ticket, gave it to me, and told me to appear in court.
Wow.
Let me guess. He didn't match your complexion. Let me guess.
He did not match my complexion at all. But what I did, because I'm nosy as hell, I looked him up. Because I'm like, I want to know why you're so mad. And I guess it's probably the therapist in me or whatever, but I wanted to know the underlying issue of why you actually was so disgruntled with me that you still wrote me a ticket, even though, I had a handicap placard. So court documents, everything is public. He was going through a divorce with his wife, who he was trying to get out of paying child support with. Okay. And so this has been going on for about maybe 2.5 years, back and forth. Then he had another lawsuit against the police department for unemployment, not giving him enough unemployment benefits and things. So I'm like, that's why you're mad. So here's a person with all of this power who decides, I'm mad, I'm disgruntled today. I don't care what's going on in this person's life. I'm just going to use my power and I'm going to write you a ticket anyway.
Yeah, it's officer discretion. Like Red said, it wasn't the law. It is the law, but he was being an ass. Like the reality is he could have let you go and okay, I see the situation. You got a placard. Oh, I'm going to educate you on, hey, this is what's going on. If you got to even if you step out and walk to the door of the store and get back in, this could avoid it. I'm curious, how much was the ticket though? Was it over $100?
So I went to court. I didn't pay the ticket, but the judge. So let's talk about systematic, right? I get before the judge, show him my stuff, say, listen, I got a handicap placard. And so he says, well, I'm going to dismiss the ticket, but you have to pay $50 in court fees. Does that work for you? So I'm looking at him like, so you're saying that I'm not guilty, but you're still going to make me pay $50 in court fines?
Professor, how does that work, Professor?
Well,
first
first
of
how
all,
it works. You go to the door and you say, I want to be VIP, and they say VIP, and then you go in your pocket and you say VIP, right? And then they say, right this way. You don't got to wait in line, Jay Black. So what the judge was saying to Mo was, I'm going to waive the thing, but I'm going to need $50.
Right. But
That's
before
same
then,
deal.
But before then, I watched people come up there and say, "Oh, hey, I'm so and so's cousin. You went to school with my cousin, so and so, and so they're palling it up, talking about old times, talking about things, from the neighborhood. Okay, you got your stuff, you got your insurance now. Is your car registered? Okay, dismissed.
See, in my thoughts,
fees, but they were guilty, but no court fees.
You see the fees? If you don't pay a ticket by a certain date, there are fees associated. So you're taking that chance of having additional funds and trying to fight it. And then if you don't win, you got the ticket and those fees that accumulated. Me, I'm just gonna pay the darn ticket, be done with it. I ain't gotta worry about that no more. Like, I guess that's the wrong mindset. I'm assuming, Professor. I'm curious.
No, that's how they design it. They design it so there's a threshold. just like when they do marketing. How much will you be willing to pay before there's some resistance or revolt or some congestion of the system? That's why they have, 80 to 90% of these cases are plea deals when it comes to these criminal cases for these young black men, because that's why they overcharge you with all these different charges. Say you're charged with 20,000 things and you're facing 20,000 years, or you could take 5 months. Right? They establish a structure, like you said. If I take off of work, I lose a few hundred, but if I pay this ticket, I lose 50 to 100. They know that when they decide how much the ticket is worth. They say, how much can we make it worth that people will not come in and clog up this building so we can't do business? And they say,
and that was a $250 ticket.
They call it a bliss point in food marketing, where they say the balance between salt and sugar. Because if it's too salty, you won't eat another one. If it's too sweet, you won't eat it. But they say there's a bliss point where, like Lay's potato chips, say you can't eat just one. So the bliss point is to make you keep on eating it just enough to make you want another one. And that's the way they do when they construct these evil systems. They say, what will they not take off work for? $50, $100. So they keep going to work and we just keep writing money, basically. Just keep filling out paper and getting money sent in the mail. Because if they made those tickets $500, that place might end up in flames. Because people couldn't pay it, they had to take it like so they know this. They do that with law enforcement all the time, and that's why some people thought that Derek Chauvin got locked up, and some people think that with the OJ case, they said they didn't want the city to burn again. They just finished fixing up LA from Rodney King, and a lot of people were speculating. There was a lot of people high up on the inside that was like, we're not doing that again. We're not doing no $1 billion in damage. 64 people died during the Rodney King riots. Only one person got beat up on tape. 64 people died afterwards. So there's a lot of people that's like, you know what? This dude messed up. We gave him all this leeway to be racist. He a white man that's a cop. He got the most freedom, and here he go with this dumbness. Do you know that he already had gotten in a situation where he was on somebody else's neck for twice as long? Derek Chauvin had a prior case where he hit a child's eardrum to the point the eardrum was bleeding, and he rested on top of a young person for twice as long as he did George Floyd. So he had already got off for the same thing. And here he is again. They was like, man, go ahead, give him up. Give him up. He got to get out. He don't even know how to be racist. We got the whole world in our hands, and he made it hard for us even under these circumstances. So they offered him up to the people because wasn't nobody going to let their cities burn and lose elections and risk getting appointments and promotions based on him.
That was the token. That was the token offering.
Good morning, Jacqueline. So you don't think that the appeal is you think that's going to go through or no? Then, because of course the Chauvin, the appeal is coming, and they saying because of the media pressure, because of Maxine Waters' comments, they have all of these the juror that was at a Black Lives Matter protest, so they got all these reasons of why that this appeal should go through. And when I tune into Fox News from time to time to see what their views are, it appears that they really believe that this is going to happen.
I don't doubt it.
Well, the appeal is his constitutional right.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that, once it gets to that point of hearing it, that it's going to actually be granted.
Yeah, I'm saying no. Will it work for him to get that new trial and potentially get off? Is what I'm going at.
I mean, stranger things have happened. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think black people be like, oh my gosh, a white cop got off on an appeal. Like after Rodney King, I think something snapped
you know, in the white psyche. And a lot of what you see in the young people today, how they be talking about murder so carelessly and they all got the guns. Like, I think a lot of that was based on the hopelessness that was generated from the Generation X. Because we came up thinking, if you can't convict this, we have no hope. They weren't even admitting racial profiling was a thing until that incident on the New Jersey Turnpike where Johnny Cochran had to defend them college kids where they shot into the back of the truck and killed them kids. Yeah. Before that, they were acting like it was all in our minds for the past 50 years. Everything from Cooley High to even if you watch The Message, don't push me to them close to the edge. If you watch the video, at the end of the video, the cops pull up for no reason and get to put them all in a police car. This has been something we've been talking about. And you listen to Illmatic. He said the cops could arrest us, blaming us. We held like hostages, right? There's so many lines. It's like at least 9 lines in Illmatic that Nas talks about the police chase us, the police shoot us, the police could frame us. This was the enemy. It wasn't the other black people. It wasn't anything else. The main enemy, like Jay-Z said in that letter to the soldier, he said back when police were Al-Qaeda, the black men, like this was our reality. So if you can watch on tape somebody get kicked and beat 56, 60 something times, and you can sit there with your robe on, with your education, with your, you know, time to look at it over and over from different angles and sit calmly and say, he was getting up. He was a threat. They were freezing the frame saying, look right here, he was trying to get up again. So I had to get him again. They were making sense of it. So after that, I think something snapped was like, nothing surprises us. And you wonder why the kids are so brazen and they're raised by a generation that really feels like they saw it all. When John Lewis got hit in the head on the Pettus Bridge, they said that was a paradigm shift. People seeing that brutality changed the way people interpreted race relations and oppression. When Rodney King happened, it didn't shift. People didn't say, oh my God, black people are right. Black men been saying this. People were like, put it in Simi Valley, move the trial. And that's why I saw somebody said OJ did it. OJ did it, but what OJ also did was put the LAPD on trial that they needed the first time. When they were talking about we didn't wear gloves to put the evidence in the locker. Mark Furman had a tape saying the ACLU should be bombed and you beat a N-word to a pulp. You don't ask him any questions. The first thing that comes out of a black person's mouth is a lie. We take him in the basement and we beat him to a bloody pulp. I don't even speak Spanish, but I work with Mexicans in the gang unit because all I got to do is beat on like, okay. You talking about killing people and bombing places. And then, so yes, if you go on a stand as an expert witness and that's your history and you say on the stand, you never even said the N-word, let alone all the stuff on that tape, then no, we go home, we walk. That's how the law works. That's how mistrials work. That's what Derek Chauvin is counting on now.
That's what he's counting on.
A formality that despite what he did, he'll still get his freedom because that's how due process operates. So the juice is loose.
Yeah. That's our reality. So this is the world we're living in. And I mean, is never really going to change, or is there hope? I mean, sometimes I feel like there's hope. Like when having, Joey B, as Mike call him, and, Kamala is like, all right, is it going to really change? But I know, Shawn, I saw you did a post about the Asian community what did you post, Shani?
It said the Asian community did not have to protest, march, or riot to get an act passed. Civil Rights Act passed.
But make sure you say executive order because that puts it on Joey B because that means he did it because he felt like it. He didn't have to wait to go to all them channels. Executive order means he just took his pen like we want these cops to do. And he was
signed off on it.
Right? Y'all are full human beings and this should not happen to y'all. And all I had to do was recognize that and I could sign the paper.
So why you think he ain't doing it for black folk yet then?
I want
the professor. Okay, he got me intrigued right now.
When I was telling black people we need to pressure him now, they was like, no, get him in office first. They was like, oh, there's a boogeyman Trump and we got to get him in office and then we'll pressure him. I said, how stupid is you? I hope you don't have no daughters. You talking about giving away the milk, but like you don't sign a lease till you see the apartment. If you want to make repairs, you tell them to make repairs. Like, everybody knows how this works on every level. You don't wait till after you give somebody access to start making negotiations. Like they was like, no, we gonna pressure him after he get in. And I said, let's see how that works out for you. And now he's in. He signed over 100 different orders. Immigration, LGBTQ, Asian American. You go ahead and look through the orders. You can look online. They got all the orders up there. You could just look for the ones that have to do with police killing black people. He done defended people's right to marry and vote and immigrate and all this other stuff. We dying. And we're the ones that got him elected. Without Clyburn in South Carolina, he said it himself. He said, y'all was there for me and I'm going to be there for y'all. He just didn't mean in terms of any legislation. But he learned from the best, because I always say, what legislation did Obama put for black people? And if he watched Obama get away with it for 8 years, not giving any legislation to black people,
why can't he? Yeah.
Cornel West and Travis Smiley, when they was getting beat up, that's the one point they did make. They said,
"Hold on now, we can't talk about Barack. Hold on now, Professor. Hold on.
Yes,
hold
we can.
Nobody want to hear the truth.
We can't talk about Barack. Like, wait, I'm sure there was some resistance from somewhere. It can't be just as simple as signing something executive, or it has to be some type of executive order.
It just happened.
That's what the term means, executive order. That means the executive
He took executive privilege to do so.
So it got to be a reason, though. If you're saying Barack didn't do something, it has to be a logical explanation, because I don't believe Barack was for us. And that's why we support Joey B. It's like, all right, if Barack co-signed him, I'm co-signing him, right? Ain't that how it works?
But it does put you in a position where you can't critique Joey B for what you didn't critique Barack for, because then we look silly and circumstantial and not keeping that same energy. And Cornel West was saying that. Cornel West was like, y'all can crucify me, but watch out, because whatever you let go during this administration, you're not going to be able to hold anybody accountable for later. So anything you let Barack do, everybody else is going to be like, you wasn't saying this for 8 years. Don't start saying it now. And Joe Biden can turn around tomorrow and say, I gave you more than Barack did. And they're gonna be like,
a lot of people were just so caught up. Yeah, I think a lot of people were just so caught up in the fact that we finally made it to the White House, and we finally have this black president, that they didn't pay attention to the work, the legislature that went into place to protect us, or the legislature, that went into place to help us. So I listen, I love Barack, but facts are facts.
I mean, not even fact. Think about these names: Eric Garner, Sandra Bland, Trayvon Martin. These were during the Obama administration. Like these national headlines about black people being murdered, being found dead in jail cells. Like, you should have signed something, bruh.
He did speak up, though. He did speak up, and then now he said, "Hey, Trayvon could have been me, like my son." Or
I don't want to shout out.
Faith without works is dead. Like, what did he do about it?
This is what he did. This is what Barack did. I see. Like the dude in the VIP. I see. I see
you did a shout out.
I see you dying. I see you getting shot. No, but executive order. Even this is the thing too. When people leave, they do a lot of pardons when the president's going out of office. Scooter Libby got one from George Bush. His friend was guilty as hell. Manafort and all them. Trump did it recently. He let everybody out. Everybody else but him.
Black.
Right? He said, my friend's coming home. Free the men, right? Free them all, right? Free the gang, right? Shout out Bobby Schmurder's GS9. So when the president is leaving, he's like, I don't care about being politically correct. My guilty friends are coming home. Likewise, if you're leaving, it's been 8 years. You can't get reelected. That 8th year that Republicans feared should have happened. The reason why it was Karl Rove, the mastermind behind George Bush's elections, he said that if you give me the money, I will make sure Barack Obama does not get a second term. He raised over $500 million from white racists who understood the power of the executive branch and said, we cannot let a black man with no accountability and all that power be there for 4 years. He will change this country. We don't know what he's going to do. And he raised almost $500 million. And that's why you don't hear from Karl Rove now, because he basically rested his career on the ability to prevent Barack from getting elected again. So everybody was like this once he got elected. He's about to go crazy, and he never did nothing. He could have waited till the last week and been like, reparations, executive order, if a police officer,
whatever he wanted.
Cameras, he could have did all that. He could have signed the whole book, but then he wouldn't have his $14 million home that he got right now, and his Netflix deal, and his multi-million dollar book deals for him and his wife going on tour. And I should drop them bombs on Libya. He went to that black nation and dropped them bombs.
Red comment, she said he could have been like Trump, like F it, we all in, like, hey, we just going, this is what it is, y'all, and we rocking. And but the political aspect of it, right? I think, I don't know if Michelle was trying to run, or I don't know. Like, I guess I don't get the inner workings behind all of those decisions, but I feel like there's something more that we got to be missing, because I feel like Barack was for us, so I felt that. I felt this energy, like, yeah, I'm rocking with
what
you.
he's talking about is as he's exiting that seat,
he could have did it at that point.
The executive orders that he could have signed leaving out of that office is what he's talking to.
I think we need somebody that's really not afraid of the backlash. That's the thing. So like when I asked the question about being a cop and something's going on, how do you do it? Yeah, you report it. You can't be scared. We need a fearless leader. But that's what we don't have.
And I'm thinking, even if he would have did it, Trump would have just reversed it. And it would have been a waste of time. So that could have been thought of me doing this. He's just going, because that's what Trump did anyway, didn't he? Executive orders to reverse stuff. So what would be at that point? I don't know if that would be.
But at the time, he didn't know Trump was coming. He thought Hillary was going to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all did.
So yeah, so he had no reason to not do it based on who might be the president next. Like, no. Even when you set an example, because people say that. Shirley Chisholm said that the glass ceiling hadn't been broken, but or even Hillary said, but the door was ajar. Like everybody has talked about this incremental progress language. Like I know that I didn't get to do it, but I set a blueprint. I took a step forward. Like that's all you gotta do, Barack. Show us it's possible. Sign all them orders. Let us have our barbecue. Celebrate electric slide. You know,
it gotta be a barbecue electric slide.
Because that's what it was with OJ. We didn't care about OJ in his case. We just needed a moment to be like, see, your system's messed up. Talk about the jury now. Say accept the decision now. Oh, you crying. We just needed to have that moment to be like, this is possible. Because you know what? The best thing Barack did, in my opinion, was he created a revolution of possibility. The children who grew up having their first president black for 8 years of their life have a different conceptualization of what's possible in politics in America. So these black children, the true benefit of Barack's presidency will probably be viewed or experienced in 20 years when the children of Obama generation, the children of the Obama presidency assume power with a boundless potential that they believe for themselves because of what they saw in Barack and Michelle. That's what I think. That's where the change is going to come. The real change is going to come when that generation reaches those seats of power, because they're not going to be afraid. They're going to think it's natural for people to assume positions and advocate for their people. And I think one of those really extra down black people who were inspired by Obama is going to take it to the next level. So no offense to what he did. He cracked a major ceiling, and I think he really stripped down the curtain of white supremacy, because to them, that was such a symbol. You know, like the flag, like the American flag. Like they still you know, after all the stuff we did, who knew that just taking a knee was what? So we got to know what hurts people. And what hurts people is these symbols. You know, one of those symbols is the founding fathers, Mount Rushmore. Think about how they think about the presidency. So just him being in that space with his blackness totally disrupted, you know, a lot of the illusion and the supremacy. So he did what he did. I'm not knocking him, but I have to at least hold him accountable for what he could have did and didn't do as well. I don't want people to get confused, like, oh, he don't like Barack. No, I love what he did, but he could have did a little more.
So what is Billy saying? We couldn't expect Barack to be elected and just whip Whitey on day 2. Come on.
No, but 2 days before he left.
Yeah, he could have did something.
You say 2 days before he left, he could have stuck it to the man.
Yeah.
And but not only that, when he left office, we still out here dying. We need capable leadership. And people were saying it when he first got in office. Just come be the president of Black America when you're done. We listen to you. We love you. We follow you. We support you. Why don't you just be public? Why I'm seeing Benjamin Crump more than I'm seeing Barack Obama? That's a good question. You got time on your hands now, bro. You know things about this nation that none of us will ever know. Classified stuff. Help us out, bro. We out here dying. We jobless. We got $1,400 to last for 8 months. Talk to us, Barack. You got a book and a podcast.
Well, you can't compare Ben Crump, because I think his money. I mean, he's also always here go Ben Crump again. But as Mike said to me, hey, well, who else is out here fighting for us consistently? Yeah. You know, but I know his money involved. Barack ain't getting no money for speaking up. But I get what you're saying. You would love to see him out more, even now, having that dialogue and on the forefront for the world to see ex-president, former president, speaking up for those.
Whatever you couldn't say before because you was in office, some people might forgive you. Say, yo. Even the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan said that he had a good heart coming in, good person, but he came face to face with Satan when he got in that position and started seeing the inner work, like you said, Jay Black, that we don't see. So he empathized with Barack, and that's why the nation didn't put out that picture of Barack Obama with Farrakhan until after he got elected the second time. So people was rocking with him, so we understand. But now you're not in office, bro. Now you don't have to play the game no more.
But that's that smoke too, though, for your family, right? He got to be worried about those. I mean, that's a lot of
politician. Politicians are always thinking about the next election. He's like, what if Sasha decides to run? If I throw on this Black Lives Matter shirt today, I might jeopardize her chance to keep our legacy going. I get it. That's why I don't rock with
busy partying. She busy partying. She ain't thinking about running for no office. She out here.
No, I'm
out in these streets.
I'm thinking of the safety aspect, because if Barack actually speaks out, doesn't that put the kids in danger? Because now the white folk are mad, and it could be some harm. The police, like you're saying, like they could be targeted,
So they still have protection.
But we
J-Black.
target it every day. Yeah, I don't have. My kids don't have bodyguards.
They got that lifeline around their neck.
I guess I
let
struck,
you
I
come
struck
up.
a nerve.
Let you,
I struck a
let
nerve
you
with that
run,
one.
yeah. Let you come up on one of them kids. They're not in the White House anymore, but let you come up on one of them kids and see what happens. See them about 30 Secret Service men probably grip you up and private security grip you up.
Pop out the bushes and choke you out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, they good. They good, but it's the
they're
other
good for the rest of their life. They are protected. Yes.
Yeah. You worried about them? They got Secret Service the rest of their life. Meanwhile, you got Trayvon Martin trying to buy Skittles.
Yeah.
Cop vigilante dude. They told him don't follow him.
All you gotta do is get pulled over, and you in a situation.
Yeah.
You know what?
My kids at the neighborhood park in the park in our subdivision, and the cops are called. My kids are 11 and 12.
You got Karens in your subdivision
with other kids. It's all black people, but the police department is white. I mean, it's some black police officers, but for the most part, they're white. We at the park. Fortunately, I was sitting at the park with them. They just didn't see me because I was in my car. But somebody calls the cops because these kids are playing. They're not loud, but it's the park that we paid for.
Why would they call them? They was doing something.
They weren't doing nothing. Jay Black, my kids were not doing nothing. They were not doing nothing. They were just out there with their other little 11 and 12-year-old classmates. Okay.
And they say our children are perceived as older than they actually are.
No, these look like little kids. Yeah, everybody under 5 feet.
They said Tamir Rice was like 18 and he was 12. The call was saying that they thought he was around 18. He's a 12-year-old boy. And that's why the cop didn't even fully get out the car before he shot him. He got out the car. He exited the vehicle. It was 1 point something seconds. Hadn't even fully got out the car. Literally hanging out the vehicle in the park, shooting a child.
Yeah.
So we should have Michael Shawn on within the next 15 minutes. I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful those people are looking for Michael Shawn.
Not judging by that picture. That picture looked like he was knocked out.
Mike has been sleeping in the airport. He's been traveling, stuck in the last 2 days because of all the bad weather in Dallas. So hopefully he promised me. So yeah,
he's not even in one of them chairs that got like the open arms where you can kind of like stretch your whole body out.
Mike, we need you, Mike. Where you at? It's Michael Shawn in the Takeover Legends. I mean, you just got the TOLs running things right now.
You know he's gonna come with much attitude, yo. The attitude is gonna be through the roof. I'm telling you. He's gonna be so irritated.
Yeah, he was mad. Even at the Burger King line yesterday, he was mad. He said, "Look, it's 150 people on this flight that got this place, and look, they all in line at Burger King. I can't even get a large fries right now." Like he was mad. He was mad at everything. When we spoke, he was mad at everything.
Until you ever get stuck in the airport like that. I got stuck in Houston when the weather was real bad. I got stuck out there. It was crazy. I was stuck in the airport for 2 days.
Oh, wow.
I'm never coming to Texas again.
No, you have to come to Texas. You have to come see me.
They ran out of bread at Subway. It was bad. All bad. Michael Jackson bad.
Where were they putting the meat in the set? They put meat in the napkins.
Listen, people were irate. They were irate. They were just like, give me some lettuce, some cheese. I don't care if it don't got no meat and no bread.
In a bowl.
Listen, because it was the only food place out.
Were you here when it was a rainstorm, or was it flooding?
Yes,
or was it snowstorm?
It was snow and ice. Y'all never get snow and ice.
Yeah, we can't go nowhere.
Snow and ice, and y'all ain't have no power nowhere.
Oh, this year when that happened.
Yeah, it was the latest one, the last one.
It was. Oh yeah, that was real bad. We not prepared for nothing like that. We not prepared for nothing like that down here. Nothing at all like that.
Now, Billy said his daughter's going. Where my baby's going as a 1920 race massacre.
Oh, the Tulsa bombing. Right?
That's the thing. Like they got a museum that highlights
Tulsa Black
Wall Street.
Oh, okay.
Y'all need to come to the South. That's what I'm saying. You need to come take a trip to the South, and we go on a little tour. I'll take y'all around.
Want to get you mad though? Like, I mean, seeing that, wouldn't that just make you angry? Like Fearless said, like the professor said, his grandmother, you know, was a part of that. Like, I know my mom she was telling me stories about the colored only water and the separate, you know, that type of. But that's like, we couldn't. I don't think. I guess we would have been born into it. But I've always felt like I couldn't have survived them days.
Yeah,
They're
she
gonna
could
say
have.
that about us 20 years from now. They're gonna see Trayvon Martin's story. They're gonna watch Rodney King getting beat up. They're gonna see Eric Garner getting choked while everybody taping it on their phones, and they're gonna be sitting there wearing t-shirts talking about this ain't 2020, this ain't 2019. You can catch these hands. I ain't just gonna record nothing. They're gonna be talking about us the same way. How they couldn't have did it. They couldn't have watched nobody get choked out. They couldn't have stayed by with somebody with a knee on somebody's neck for all them minutes. I don't know what was wrong with y'all back in the day. They're gonna say the same thing. Like we say, I could be on a plantation. Oh, yes, you could have.
Yes,
you're on a plantation now. All
you saw the movie Antebellum, right?
A lot of similarities.
I went in a store this was in 2002, and went in a store to just get some snacks. The dude tells me two older white men walked in 2000. I was like, I think I might have been 20 or 19. He said, "Look, gal, we don't take nigger money around here." I said, "Okay."
Wait, he said that to you to your face, like
yeah,
to your face.
Wow.
Yes.
And you talking about visiting you?
I didn't know that was the best thing.
What?
Yeah.
The best thing is nigga money. I didn't even know.
Hey, I wasn't about to get in the conversation with him. I thank you for letting me know. I got in my truck and I left.
You didn't demand to be served?
No.
My money is green.
No, they burn crosses still here.
Right.
So, I don't want nothing from that person.
Exactly.
What they gonna do to your food and all that? I don't want nothing.
See, I grew up in Arkansas, and I'll never forget. My high school would always play the city of Cabot, Arkansas, and they call that the Ku Klux Klan capital of the world. FYI, right? And so when we would play, they would actually be out there. Like you could actually see them in the woods. It's nothing to see somebody on horses or anything like that in town. But it's alive and well. Like you wouldn't believe if you live down south, the things that you see, even some of the laws that are still in place in some of the southern states, you would be surprised of some of the local laws that they still have that are racist.
I'm sorry, Mom, I'm stuck. So he said to your face, "We don't take that nigga money here."
Yes.
Like what year was this?
It was like 2001.
I can definitely believe that.
Yeah.
Did you come back and secretly flatten tires and with a hood on? And,
why?
Or break some windows?
Why? He made it very clear that he didn't want my kind around there. So why am I go back?
Man, that just blows my mind. That blows my mind. I mean, wow. All right. We got to talk about Portia Williams, but I feel like the professor, start thinking about something for your students, because your conversation this morning was like really enlightening to me in a lot of ways. But I'm thinking about some of the things that you teach in your class. One of those students that really try to challenge you on a topic that may have some good points. Like, I'm curious because it seems like you have good. I would never get into a debate with you. Let me just say that. But I feel like sometimes there are some aspects of someone's perspective that you have to acknowledge and like, okay. And then it puts you in a position where as though you had to really come back and it was a back and forth legit debate that it may have been a good point that they had, if that makes sense.
Well, I think it's about framing the conversation. I tell people all the time, I can describe what I see right now, and it'll be different than what all of you see. I see a bottle of Fiji water and all this other stuff because I'm from this perspective. And I let the students know, just because you see something differently does not mean either of us are wrong. It just means we're coming from a different vantage point. Like, once you establish that kind of space for diversity of thought, it's not a zero-sum game. It's not a tug of war. It's not a right or wrong. It's, oh, that's what the professor feels about it. How does Cam feel about it? Oh, that's how Mo feels about it. And I say that's why professors could teach the same course for 20 years. People say things like, you've been teaching that course all the way. It's a different class and it's a different world. Like, when I first started teaching it, it wasn't Black Lives Matter. Barack Obama had been, you know what I'm saying? Like, so everything changes. So the fact that the students come with fresh perspectives and new experiences and the ability to reflect on the things that we talked about 5 years ago, you actually start to value the difference of opinion and diversity of thought. So I don't want students coming into my class just agreeing with me or saying the same thing. The best classes that we have when people have the most diverse, vantage points from which they approach the information, and they don't think that somebody's attacking them because they feel differently, and they can agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Like, that's where the magic happens. So no, it's not about really debating like a win or lose thing. It's just about really trying to find out all the different ways we can look at it or interpret, a situation or a point in history.
No, it's always a win or lose.
Somebody got to lose.
It's always with me, but I debate. No, it's a win or lose. No, No, but you're educational,
But
honestly.
you lose most of the time, right?
Uh-huh.
No,
Yeah.
not in my mind, at least. But I guess you come with facts, and that's what's intriguing with me, because you read so many books, you did so much research, and that's why I guess I listen to you a little differently, because it's like, okay, well, he did the research. It ain't just me going with my small sample size of of what I experienced and what I've seen. So I legit I respect your thoughts. I legit always did.
Sample size.
It is. Mine being small. I be small, and I go hard with it.
Jay, I'm using that on you. I'm gonna throw that in your face the next time we got something.
Oh, you caught me in a moment.
Sample size.
Small sample size.
What about the state
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Black history teaching? Yeah, the doctor professor spoke about that earlier, Billy, about Tennessee
in the
withholding
1619
funds.
project, yeah.
Yeah, withholding funds if they teach about systemic racism and white privilege. They're pulling funds away from those teachers in classrooms, and he hit on that. I guess if you got a little modified, quick version, you can say, Professor, related for those who just joined, because there's a lot of new people.
And you got to think, if you told a lie in your life, you know what the rule is. The rule is to keep lying. Anybody who's ever just cheated, you got to think to yourself, the lie was that Africa was a dark continent. Nobody's reading or writing. If you told a lie that big to justify enslavement and colonization and conquering, you have to keep lying. That's all you have left is Planet of the Apes. You can't ever let them know that this is really their home. They were here first. We learned from them. Like, you can't. So Mitch McConnell and them, if you ever went fishing and snatched the fish out the water, and you see what the fish start doing when it hits the air, the fish knows instinctively.
This
my
ain't where I'm
end
supposed
is
to be.
near, right? The fish know, even if the fish never even been out the water, right? It's like something in the fish's innate DNA that once the fish hits the air and the boat and it's like, whoa, it ain't no more water, it starts to snap. And right now we are watching white supremacy snap, and it's flailing and flapping and getting desperate. It's killing children. It's calling people names on the floor of Congress. And I'm like, that fish, I'm just like, I know what's going to happen eventually. I'm not going to get down there and flap with that fish. So I just look at them go crazy and wild out. I know why you don't want us teaching the truth in the schools. Same reason why you don't want us playing in the park in the subdivision. Same reason why you don't want us selling loose cigarettes. Keep on flapping, fish. Your days is numbered.
But it passed. It was a Senate vote 25-7. It looks like. So it got passed. So
another couple months. They're gonna stretch it out as long as they can. They've stretched it out for almost 400 years, and it looks like it's coming to an end, because if they can't keep the Mexicans out and they can't keep the black people from reproducing and they can't keep the white people from learning the truth, at some point you're fighting on too many fronts. That's how great empires fall. You take on too many battles on too many fronts. You can't fight the Mexicans and the Russians and the African Americans and your own young white children who are starting to listen to hip hop and hear Public Enemy and KRS-One and Poor Righteous Teachers and Brand Nubian and start to say, hey, dad, hey, mom, I don't know if the way you describe them people is actually accurate, because I just went to a concert and everybody was getting along way better than they do in our town. Only got like 1% black people in it. Somebody done lied to you. And you see the students now looking to people like me instead of their own parents for the truth. And they don't want that to continue. It's bad enough in college. They don't want that to happen on a grade school level.
Well, shifting gears, I guess, Mo, we can get into a little bit of your allegedly, and I know the Portia Williams has been all over the news, and you can break that down for us related, and we can go a little bit into that.
Well, let the palm tree shade begin then, Jay Black.
Palm tree shade.
It seems like Portia Williams, all her former co-hosts from, the Real Housewives of Atlanta, they are chiming in. They are cashing in on this ticket of making sure they drag her for filth. Okay. It's no secret now that she has been engaged to Simon Gubadiah for a month. He's been seeing her for a month.
In a month?
In a month, they've been dating. I mean, he took to social media and he really, just let everybody know, he's finally found somebody who he loves, and basically is calling Portia his soulmate.
So what's the backstory?
You can't go ahead.
No, I'm trying to figure out, because I'm looking at the pictures on the screen. I see the dude. I see a nice looking young lady to his left.
Yes,
and then
so that's Fallon. That is his soon to be ex-wife. And even though they took to social media in April and announced that they were getting a divorce, they actually filed in January. So everybody, is trolling Portia, trying to, put the math don't add up, trying to put the dates together of how long that they've been dating. But April 22nd, yes, they did post on social media, but that's not when they filed. So they actually technically been separated.
So yeah, I mean, if I'm not with my wife anymore, I mean, people are still married and date other people. So where's the real
J Black? So that's kind of like the equivalent of you dating one of Cam's exes. We want big happy family. You can't go and marry Cam ex-wife or fearless ex-wife. The professor ex. You can't do that. That's if you had an ex-wife.
No, I didn't know that, Mo. I was with Jay until you said that. So they was all cool.
No.
That changes everything.
Portia was on the show
with the ex-wife.
Portia was on they're on the same show.
Well, they're on the show together, but they're not friends.
They're not friends.
They're not
well,
friends.
obviously not,
so to speak. Technically,
but I wouldn't date a guy that Mo talked to.
Mm-mm.
Like we
same
not
business.
So
that's
it's
against
kind of
the girl
the
code.
same thing. Yeah, I'm not.
That's against the girl, and her divorce is not even fine. They just signed, and they just filed a motion in court in January. Now you're telling me 4 months later you're getting married to who's not even. He's still my husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're just separated. We're going through the process.
But Portia wasn't directly friends with her, right? It was like she had no loyalty to her. That's
they
how
weren't besties. They weren't besties.
It don't matter. Me and Mo not best friends.
It's a girl code. It's some lines you don't cross. But Portia is about a bag, and Simon got about 40 mil.
Oh,
So, and again, like Simon was really defending their situation by saying, hey, I love her. I'm getting a divorce, unfortunately, because he was actually with Fallon for about 7 years, I believe. 5 years they dated and 2 years they've been married. They got about 8 kids between the two of them. They both been married before. So this wasn't their first time at the rodeo. It didn't work out, as couples do. Sometimes couples don't work out. But I think that she she feels some type of way because Portia is done cashed in the meal ticket.
Oh, so Simon and Dennis, which Dennis is Portia's ex. So
Dennis is Portia's ex, right? And he messy.
Oh, so that's how he met.
Messy boots.
Okay, wait, I got a visual now. Sorry.
Okay.
So I'm okay. Dennis and Portia was together. Dennis's friend
had a baby.
Mm-hmm. Dennis's friend is Simon, right? So Dennis and Simon are cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dennis and Portia break up, and then Portia started dating Simon. But during that time of them being cool, of course, Portia met Simon's girlfriend, which is the other young lady, and that's his wife. And that's okay. All right, so Portia ain't got no loyalty to that female.
Portia don't got no loyalty. And Portia's about a bag.
Yeah.
Let's keep it 100. Portia's about a bag. This is an opportunity. She got her African. He got a lot of money, and that's the way it is. Now, she's never been built for being dragged for filth. Now she don't miss, she don't mince her words, but she's never. I don't think that she can really take the pressure. Everybody's coming at her, telling her, how wrong. And then of course the first wife issues out a statement, and it's like, oh, thank you guys for all your support during this time. I just want to find myself and go through my divorce. And of course, women power, they gonna eat that up, and they gonna continue to drag Portia. Portia dragging Simon all the way to the bank.
I don't know about this one, but hey, I guess they can give her some issues, but it seems like, because you said I couldn't date Cam's ex, that wouldn't be like me dating Cam's ex, because me and Cam are the loyal friends. So me dating his ex is different. Like, this is a third party. So this is another step away, right? That's the difference. But hey, maybe I'm missing something here. How is she? I don't get how she's so wrong.
I think one, because of the timeline they're looking at, like, were you plotting on him all along? What was the nature of your relationship to where you met this, you got with this guy for a month, and now you're like, oh yeah, we get married.
Yeah, that's just.
So I don't think it's so much the dating. I think it's more so the month. Basically, we've been kicking it for 4 weeks. What you want to do? Let's get married.
The marriage announcement part is a little extra shady. Like,
And
if
it's
you
rumored
still
that
married,
she's
don't
pregnant.
announce you getting married.
And it's
No,
rumored
she
that
didn't actually announce
pregnant.
it. He's the one. She said, yes, we're dating. And that's after her baby daddy got real messy up under one of her posts, congratulating her on the new chapter in her life. So that's what made her come forward. She wasn't ready to come forward with this. They was probably going to put this in the tuck and hide this for a minute. And the baby dad got messy, acting like a whole female. And congratulations on your new chapter. So everybody, of course, is like, well, what he talking about? They getting back together? What's going on? So of course she had a rebut. And once she did, the cat was let out of the bag. Simon came all mushy, professing his love. And, of course, Kenya, Kenya don't like her. So Kenya, couldn't wait until the wife, the first wife put something up. And she was like, oh, finally, the real wife has spoken. #queen.
#X.
Yeah, but Portia didn't have to reply. She didn't have to reply to her ex.
She
could
didn't.
just let
She
it.
didn't. I just think that the dragging was so daggone bad that that's all she knew how to do was to respond. Plus, when a man come messy, you can't hold your tongue. Sometimes it's real hard to hold your tongue when a man is messy. Because that's like female stuff.
Yeah, but it's possible. I would let him just sit there. Now I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. I guess I got a book coming out. Something.
If Dennis and Simon are both cool with it, I think that's where the concern would be. The fact that Dennis is okay with his homie marrying his ex, I think that's where it's like, well,
why is that a problem?
Dennis,
it's not a problem. He's cool with it. So I think everyone should be.
That's like comparing McDonald's to Seasons 52. Like, what? It ain't even balanced. Dennis is, in comparison to Simon and his purse, is a nobody.
Oh, you like with money? Oh, wait, it's about love. I thought, right? We're not talking because he's a hot dog guy.
Listen, I'm not saying in a month that you can't love somebody. Ooh, I love him. I'm not even saying that. It might be good. It might just be
sex is good. He's happy. Got all the hot dogs you want in the world.
He may have put that African, you know what I mean? He may have laid it on real thick. And so she might think, hey, this is my soulmate
for her. I think it's a 40 mil for her.
From Portia's background, I think it's more so the bag.
Yeah, and is this his net worth or is this what he has liquid? Because there is a difference.
There is a difference. But 40, I guess I'll say 40 million is 40 million. And if you could liquidate even 10 million, you winning. And I'm pretty sure his money is not all over here entangled in the American government. I'm pretty sure he has some back in Africa, offshore accounts, things that are protected.
Why are we so concerned about his purse?
I mean, that's what we're saying. Portia is about.
We're saying Portia.
I really don't care about it.
Giving her climate the things that she enjoys.
She on TV every day. How much money she got in her purse?
She is. Well, you have to remember she was married to to an athlete.
Yeah,
she was wealthy then.
He didn't give her nothing. He didn't give her nothing.
It's 400,000 was the net worth I saw.
Cam, look at the phone. I think I see the phone. I think there's somebody on the phone.
No, shut up. It's a bill collector.
Bring the phone caller up. Let's bring the phone caller up.
Oh, somebody's calling.
Free Agent Radio. Good morning, Michael Shawn. Without Michael Shawn in the Takeover Legends.
So what up, y'all? What's going on?
Hey. Michael Shawn on the phone. Welcome to your show, Mike. Good morning.
I'm at 9%, so I don't even know. I heard y'all talking about Porsche. I don't care. So, can y'all hear me clearly? Because I'm about to die. I'm at the Philadelphia airport. I finally made it back.
So you're not even going back. Dallas is a mess. So you came back to Philly. All right. So let's talk. I mean, we've been having missing pictures for you. We people send pictures of you sleeping at the airport on top of suitcases. Allegedly, it's you. I'm like, oh,
we were scared.
Yeah, we've been talking about y'all morning. You all right? You happy? You safe?
Oh my God! First of all, none of y'all was scared.
I was nervous.
Bad actors. Oh my!
Mike,
I was nervous.
Hey, Mike, I was trying to tell him I didn't care. I took
I know.
I could give 2-ish. I don't care. He's a grown man. He be all right.
I told him put your Cash App up.
I'm surprised Jay Black ain't put his Cash App up. You know, Jay Black is about the money.
I should. Yeah, you
Portia
trying to
put the Cash App up.
Proportions.
Yeah, Portia didn't put your Cash App up.
Act like y'all was worried about me. Y'all wasn't worried about nobody. But anyway, I got stuck in Orlando, so I spent the night. I slept all night in the airport last night in Orlando. That was fun. So I did a Sexy Mo. Sexy Mo had that situation go on before. So I sat there. I did that. Woke up this morning. I'm back in Philly. My whole point was to get back to Texas. It didn't happen. I'm back in Philly. I'm on 9%. I got this one guy looking at me crazy because he mad because I'm talking loud on the phone. So it's been a great 48 hours, y'all. It's been a fabulous 48 hours.
Why is your phone ain't charged? If you sitting sleeping in the airport next to an outlet, shouldn't your phone be charged?
No, because I gotta have because I don't have my earbuds. I got the ones that I gotta plug them in, so I can't charge at the same time. So I gotta decide. I got 9% to talk to y'all. So right now I'm at my limit.
No, you good for the next 30 minutes. No, you part of the show now, son.
So, but y'all sounded fine. Y'all sounded fine. Like Jay Black was all scary records this morning. Last night he was all scary, and now he's all talking all crazy and got opinions and views and stuff like. Shut your ass up. Let me tell y'all the truth. Let me tell you the truth. Y'all need me in a bad way. Let me tell y'all the truth right now.
It's your show, son. Well, our show.
Don't give me that because you was all scared. I just heard 7 minutes of Jay Black yipping and yapping. He's so nervous. He don't want to have too many guests.
You don't want the producer all talking on all over your shows.
Now he all in the video.
Come to Free Radio.
No, the professor went in. The professor dropped a lot of knowledge this morning.
Don't put it on me. Don't know.
I got a lot of people kicked up, and it felt like a sermon was going on at one point. I was like, man, okay, I'm ready to donate. Like where I donate at? Like I was like, okay. So yeah, he was going in this morning on a lot of the racial issues.
Well, what else does he go in on? Like you act like I'm supposed to be shocked. Like he went in on some racial issues. Get out of here. He was talking about what?
You know when he come on, he brings it.
He did what? But I'm just mad that the men on the show were so passionate talking about this Porsche nonsense. Oh, we're gonna talk about this tomorrow.
Wait, I don't see a problem with it.
Jay Black couldn't wait.
I could care less.
Mike, what's your thoughts?
Jay
Mike?
Black couldn't wait. You know he liked to be messy boots too.
First of all, that ain't nothing but the biggest setup since when Jake Paul grabbed Floyd Mayweather's hat. Shut your asses up! Like we really gonna believe this nonsense? We really gonna believe this craziness?
So you don't believe that they're dating? That she's dating a new guy, Simon? You think that's all a lie?
I believe you will sell your soul and say you marrying somebody just so you can get your own show coming up afterwards.
Well, she did just get it.
And we were all going to be really good, and y'all did your job. Like, Mo, you had to report it. It's just embarrassing that grown-ass people are really concerned with this. Like, we spent like 2 days, I saw Instagram with just a Porsche. For why?
Hey, Mike, we got an update on you. But Mike, real quick, Shawnee put up we got an update. We had your missing photo all morning. Now there's an update. Got found Mike, Philly Airport, with you smiling. There's a photo of you. So we got an update. We found you, Mike. I'm glad you're okay. We're really glad.
We could care less. I don't care.
No, but I really wanted to try. I wanted to try and get on with y'all, like with the StreamYard, but my cell phone wasn't letting me do it. So I was having some difficulties with that. But I don't know what pictures y'all got, but we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. I want to send y'all a picture. But I would like to tell Portia and all the other vaginas that are taking part in making this big thing a big thing. I would like to say good work, but I would also like to say F you from the bottom of my ball sack. Like, F you for real.
Do you have a problem with the homegirl not being actually divorced yet? The ex-wife or soon to be ex-wife? Do you have an issue? Because you could be separated and dating other people but still legally married. Is that a concern for you?
No, I ain't got a problem with none of this. I have a problem with none of this. Like they're not friends in real life, people. I'm never ever, no matter what happens, gonna date Cam's ex-wife. I'm never ever gonna date Jay Black's ex-wife or present wife if God forbid they were to break up. Why? Because we really F with each other. They really know my kids. They really know my parents. all this is the WWE, and it's so funny that everybody has such a lack of a life that it's become this big a deal. Like everybody who's consumed with it, and I'm not talking about anybody on my show, on our show. Let me correct that and stop saying that. On our show.
Exactly. We're a
I'm
team.
not talking about anybody on our show. I'm not, for real. I'm not talking about anybody, because Bo has to do her job and has to report nonsense because y'all lifeless people who sit home and scroll all day and have no inspiration to do anything with your damn lives really believe that this fat dude is pimping these bitches like this.
Get him.
Like, are we for real? Have you seen this dude?
I'm laughing at you.
And no disrespect to fat dudes. I've been fat. I've been skinny. I've been medium. I've been all of them. But you really want us to believe that you're the one pimping all these chicks? That Portia was really coming over to your house to swim in your pool, and when she saw you, when the woman you were married to introduced you, she was like, "Oh my God, do you see him? Shut your ass up." You know what?
She did the Google search like we did.
I can get all these chicks' numbers. You remember what I said? It disappoints you when you see somebody who you think is dope. All these chicks, we could all get their numbers, y'all.
And I'm laughing how you got your curse word in. Look, you ain't even been on the show but 15 minutes the whole day, and you still got your curse word in to meet your quota. That's too funny.
I had to. I didn't meet my quota because I got another one left over from yesterday not being on.
They don't roll over. The curse words don't roll over.
Roll over curse.
So technically, I can say F you in real life, Jay Black, if I wanted to. I could use the F word, but I'm not. I'm an adult.
Kathy brought up a good point. She said, you said you wanted to get into this tomorrow, and I hit you with a dose of your own energy. I still asked you the question and got it out of you now. I ain't want to let you off the phone, son.
Oh, you still ain't redeemed yourself.
About Portia, son.
You still ain't redeemed yourself.
Good point, Kathy.
Yeah, because that just proves the point how you know how to irritate me. On purpose. I don't know why I'm friends with you sometimes.
Oh God. Mo, you got another.
Go home and take a shower. That's all I want to do.
2 days of airport life. Mo, you got another story? Tristan Thompson was in the news too.
Yes. So, well, he stay in the news. That's nothing new. But right now, that cease and desist could land him in deeper trouble with Sydney Chase, his alleged side piece.
What happened?
So I told you Sydney Chase done pulled out the receipts that she has been bagging Tristan while he's been patching things up with Chloe. And so Chloe allegedly has called the girl, contacted the girl. The lawyer done put out a cease and desist. She said she ain't get it, but then of course they pulled the receipts for that. She got it. And she was like, I don't care. It's my truth. I'm speaking it. And if you don't like it, so the hell what? Well,
now, do you see why this bothers me? Do you see why this bothers me? Can I tell y'all why this bothers me that we're doing this story? Can I tell you why? Because Tristan Thompson actually averages 8 more points than I do in
the NBA. Which is 0.
Well,
I average 0. He averages 8 more points in the NBA. He should, you know what? He should literally be indebted to LeBron James for the rest of his effing life. Because if it wasn't for playing with LeBron James, we would not be telling about a story about an NBA player who averages 8 points. And he might average less. 8 points.
Don't forget he knocked up a Kardashian. I mean, that's,
that's
so
secondary.
Did Ray J, so did Nick Cannon, so did, I think I knocked off a third cousin. I think I did. I knocked off a third cousin.
Well, here's the kicker, Michael Shawn. She actually has gotten Gloria Adler, the attorney from the Harvey Weinstein case. Okay, she now has her as her official attorney, and they only take high profile cases with receipts. So it must be some type of validation to what she's saying, because Gloria wouldn't have came out her office and took her. She don't even got Gloria money to even retain Gloria.
Let's talk about Gloria. This is the most overrated lawyer ever, because when she doesn't win the case, it just goes away. Nobody talks about the cases she brings up, and we never hear about it again. Wasn't Gloria the person that was with the heavy chick that said that Usher gave her herpes
Oh yeah. Well, they settled out of court with that. Remember?
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. We didn't hear the end of that. We didn't hear the end of that case.
Didn't she have Black China? She got Black China too, right? She had the Black China case.
You know what she's good for? She's not a great lawyer. She's a great lawyer at the press conference to promote the case, but then we never hear about what happens at the end of the case.
A lot of times they settle out of court.
Yeah, they all settle out of court because they ain't really got no evidence for no criminal actions. It's just a bunch of people doing a bunch of wild stuff, and then you can't explain it because you don't want to explain it. Because we all out here doing well, I said we all, like I'm worth 50 million. I'm not, but if I was, I would be out here. I would be running these streets if I was worth 50, 60 million, and I wouldn't want to have to explain the trifling nonsense that was going on in hotels. So I'd rather just pay you off and get this little white lady to come in here and get her little commission off of it. So I'm just saying, once again, she's not a great lawyer. She just happens to be the face of everything.
Well, y'all know it's two of them, right?
Right.
It's a mother and daughter.
Yeah, it's a tag team.
Yeah, the daughter did the Usher one, Lisa, and Gloria's the mom.
And Gloria's the mom.
But they both on the same type time.
Yep.
The one that did the Usher case said, Usher gave me herpes, but I don't have herpes.
He exposed her to herpes.
That was literally what she said. She said,
exposure.
Usher gave me herpes. She gave me exposure, but I don't have it. And my question is, how do we know who gave it to who? And if nobody has it, what are you talking about? This is the craziness with these ladies that get in front of these cameras. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I only got 6 more. I got 6% left. I got 6%. So go ahead.
Well, again, like I said, Gloria Adler, she is, the girl can't even afford her. So she's taking this, of course, pro bono, hoping to get a whole civil case out of this. And it's not so much about Tristan. It's more so about Khloe. The Kardashians don't like any type of stench being put on them. So I think it's more so that Khloe, she wants this to go away. She reached out to her allegedly and said, listen, this is between me and you, girl. Don't tell nobody I DM'd you. But look, we need to talk.
Yeah,
and so the girl is doing what she need to do to get her bag. She's putting it out there for everybody to see. And this is going to be a defamation of character suit because she put it out there and he's calling her a liar and defaming, I guess, her Instagram fame. So she's going to seek some damages.
Real quick, what did she say happened again? Just tell me real quick.
That her and Tristan were smashing during the time him and Khloe have been trying to get back together. So while him and Khloe have been patching it up, she said she was on the other side of the bed.
So what's wrong with that? Like, where does that become illegal? Like,
so that's not illegal. That's not illegal, but defamation of character is. So if I say you did something and you did it, but then you come back and publicly say,
it's Khloe's ego got with him, and now he wants to know, babe, they wasn't like that.
That wasn't me.
Oh, okay. That's where I'm like, okay, so it's not illegal.
Messages are fabricated.
He's defending his baby mom.
That means my character. People have been doing that to my character. What was the word again?
Assassinate.
Defamation. Defamation.
I've been defamated for the last 25 years. Damn it. I should have sued all these hoes.
But Khloe Kardashian, she's a Kardashian. They have a brand to protect, and she's not married, so you got to think she has to protect her bag, and I'm pretty sure her momager has something to do with this as well.
And Red said it's because he stopped paying that rent. He stopped paying her rent, so she got mad, and that's what she outed him because he stopped taking care of her.
You can't give a girl a piece of the pie who chasing a bag and then snatch it back. It's kind of like taking candy out of a baby's mouth. Can't do that.
No, you actually can.
Right, but then you gotta make sure that she don't have the receipts like Sydney has right now and putting that pressure on you.
She's non-talented mother. Whatever, man.
The talent is in the heist. The talent is in the heist.
Yeah, but that was the same talent. That's why you got to be like Kevin Hart. When somebody tries to heist you, you get the FBI involved. You send the asses to jail for real, and you never hear from that person again. And Khloe,
right.
and I want to know, Khloe, let's just say everybody believed what was said. How is that changing your character? Nobody's going to look at you any differently.
Well, maybe he doesn't want her stock to decrease.
I don't understand why they fighting.
You know the Kardashians want everything to go away. They don't want no stench on them.
Yeah.
All right, I'm at 5%. I'm at 5%.
Queenborn says you need a portable charger, Mike. She says you need a portable charger.
I think I'm gonna buy him one.
No, but I did, but it doesn't matter because I lost my cordless, my wireless earbuds. So still I can't charge at the same time because I lost those. Listen, how about y'all just make these last 5% quality? How about you do that? How about you do the last 5% real quality? How about you do that?
I don't even know if I want to tell the next story, J Black.
You got more stories? Go for it. You speaking of exes?
You can't see my face. You see the disrespect from Mo when you can't see my face. You see that? I don't even now. All of a sudden, I don't even know if I want to tell these stories. When the hell is it up to you when you can decide? Oh, I see what it is. Oh, I see you tomorrow. You know what? I see you tomorrow.
You ain't got the power. Look, when you ain't here, you ain't got the power. She said. She said we see you tomorrow.
Told y'all, man.
I'm like the last dragon.
Caring about white.
Speaking of exes, Michael Shawn.
Just make sure tomorrow, Mo, you just got one story ready because that's all we'll need tomorrow. Make sure it's a Tuesday. Make sure
you got me on news probation, J Black, messing with you. I ain't messing with you no more. But speaking of exes, Michael Shawn, Soulja Boy's ex is suing him right now for alleged abuse, claims that she was beaten brutally. This was over 2 years ago, and she says that he made her have a miscarriage. So when I did the math, I was like, wait, wasn't he just on one of those shows trying to patch it up with Mia? Like, weren't they going through something? So I want to know who this girl is. She hasn't disclosed her name in the lawsuit, of course, at this time. But this is not the first alleged abuse case involving Soulja Boy and one of the women that he's been dating. If you look at some of the reels, you know that even Mia accused him of being abusive during their relationship. And it's a pattern. Yes, Teddy Riley's daughter.
Yeah.
Mia.
I don't want to. I ain't saying too much. You know, there's no way to make any light about stuff like that, especially if it's true and stuff like that. But I will say
he's saying it's not true. He's saying that it's it's old. Allegedly, it's old. So why is she coming out the woodworks now with this lawsuit and trying to get money?
Well, I just got to say this with Soulja Boy's ass. I got $20 that says Mo and Shawnee will beat his ass on a one-on-one. Just right now, I'm just saying it. Just saying. I don't know how this scrawny bastard is being that tough. Like if he's really doing this, that really does disturb me.
But you have to think, some abuse is about control. It's really not about physical power all the time. It's about mental control of a person. So I think that just with dating him, just from what we saw on television with Nia, that he does these whole Jedi mind tricks on women. And so when they're actually in the abuse, and I think because some of them are fighting him back, they feel like they're not even a victim or they're not being abused until they're out of it. So that's my take on it.
Shiny was shanking Billy.
Shiny gonna poke him.
They said Shiny gonna shank him, Billy said.
No, I got all my money on Shorty. I don't even think she got to shank him. I think she could just stand up and just throw blows, like for real. Like I really don't. For real, I got 3%, y'all. But I'm telling you, I put my money in Mo. And if they get the wrestling, Mo got him. Like it's over. Like I don't understand. Like the skinniest bastard. Like, and you know what? Let me slow down because who knows if she's telling the truth.
Hot grits all day.
Who knows if she's telling the truth? Who knows? Hot grits, but she might be lying on him too. So I don't know. I hate domestic violence stories because you really can't say anything like you can't be overly funny because you don't want it to be your daughter,
right?
And you can't just take the guy's side because these dudes have done some wild stuff to these women.
You remember people gave Teddy Riley some backlash, like, where were you? Why wasn't you protecting her? But a lot of times you have to realize that when you are grown and you in a relationship, sometimes you don't run to your dad and tell him everything because you want to go back to the guy. So, sometimes people are a little hard on Teddy Like, you saw your daughter going through all of this on television and you ain't, try to pull her to the side, or better yet, pull him to the side and say, come, let me holler at you for a minute, So he catches a lot of backlash from that.
I think where he went wrong is he said, why is she bringing this up now? If it's not true, what difference does it make what time frame it was when it comes up?
Right.
Well, it does add credibility to it when you do it. Who said that?
Not from a victim. No. So of course, bloggers, readers are saying why. They're questioning why is she coming out now? In addition to his camp, who is refuting her story.
Oh, well, let's get back to Teddy Riley. You were supposed to go see Soulja Boy. Like whether you're like.
But who's to know if Nia didn't say, Dad, just I got it. Please don't. Please don't.
No, I don't care.
Or it could be if the dad had those tendencies, dad is not going to say anything. Sometimes dad takes the abuser side until dad really realizes that, oh, it's a real threat here.
Teddy Riley has the resources to not even do it himself. But he also has the resources to get him in a room by himself and have the conversation and see what happens. So, I mean, maybe he don't, another thing is, what Shawnee just said could be right. Teddy could be taking the abuser side, or Teddy might not truly believe his daughter.
Yeah, and that happens. Those are real stories.
Yeah, you know your kid better than you. Yeah,
he may have never seen Nia get physically abused, but we've all seen her get verbally abused. Let somebody talk to me crazy or sideways, and my dad see that. It's not going to matter what I say, what nobody else say. He get into the business.
But it happened on TV, right?
Right.
Okay, it happened on TV, and you was part of the nonsense. You part of the reality show nonsense. So in that case, I'm on his side. I'm not jumping in there. You want to get a check off that nonsense, and go get a check.
I think she was
everybody's fighting at that point.
I mean, but Teddy was on the show with him.
At one point,
he was on. He was in that foolishness. I think this is just my personal opinion, based on some things that I've seen with Teddy Riley. Maybe he just don't want to deal with his demons, and that's why he won't say nothing.
At the man in the mirror.
And maybe the case is, if we're ever on a reality show, y'all, there's probably going to be something where I wind up cursing at one of y'all two ladies, and people are going to look at us crazy, and we're going to cash a check.
But we do that now, so that's good. Sign us up.
I mean crazy as in the other crazy. But if we all get the check, then we're all going to walk away with it. And then I just got to take the heat for being the ass. And go, all right, he was just an ass and disrespectful. The only problem is then people will come out the woodwork. And it'll be one thing, then it'll come out the woodwork like he did this to me in 1997. This is all crazy. This is all crazy.
Behind the scenes of the Takeover.
All right, I got 2%. I got 2%. I got
2%. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We're getting
I
close.
can't even breathe on the phone with 2%.
Because you got other stuff.
Y'all finish it off because this is just going to cut off right now.
No, let's keep talking to cut off.
Once you get to 2%, it cuts off at any moment. Then.
Because you got other apps running in the background. You're supposed to close all of them. I got to teach you about your phone too. Come on.
By the time he go close them things, J Black, see, you got an Android. Like, don't come over here telling us what to do with the whole iPhone situation. I can charge. Breathe on an iPhone when
I
it's
can
at
charge
2%.
my phone. I could charge my phone and have a Bluetooth headphones in. So I mean, I could do two things at once.
Yeah, I don't have no, but that was my point. I don't have the Bluetooth headphones. I lost them, so I got the actual old school. I got to be connected in there. Why am I explaining it?
I don't know why you're using your last 2% to explain to J Black.
Matter of fact, y'all did a great job. Y'all did a great job.
Don't get sucked in the vacuum.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Dr. Smith. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Tony Scott. Sorry, you guys. I apologize for having to be in the airport looking crazy right now. Because trust me, people looking at me crazy right now because I'm standing up. I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Y'all close out the show the way y'all want to close out the show. And Mo, just make sure you got that one story ready for tomorrow. That's all we need.
J Black, you always get somebody in trouble.
it wasn't me.
There's a whole bunch of stuff I gotta say, and now I'm being censored.
Put the phone on low mode. Mike, if you're still listening, put your phone on low mode for iPhone. Kathy said it'll help.
Oh, the low battery.
Not at 2%.
2%. People
He had to do that at 10%.
Go.
You want to keep at least 1% just in case. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he might have to.
I gotta sit here and wait. I gotta wait here for 2 more hours for Stacey to get to lunch so she can come pick me up. Yo, my life has been bad for like the last 48 hours. The fact that I did get on here on the phone shows how I care about this show. The fact that you know what? I'm getting off the phone. Y'all don't appreciate it.
We love you, Mike. We glad you're safe.
Chairman said be safe. Tasha.
Goodbye.
Cam, like get out of here.
We got 2 hours and 2%. So I think
Wholehearted Cam.
Get
You know
out of
what's
here.
funny? Like at least Cam could have done his part and at least mixed a little bit. Like just done something. So he's like, nah. Like, nah. I wish I would learn some songs for the show. I would. Thank you, Shawnee. Thank you for putting it together. Thank you.
I knew what you were.
These dudes here, man.
He's still on the line, man. What are we
doing?
We're doing great with our.
I'm going all the way to the end. I'm just going all the way to the end.
Terrible.
I heard Cam chiming in, trying and get aggressive. You got aggressive for 7 minutes. I was listening. Thank you to Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith, you're a savior.
Oh no, he did good. I give him credit. He did good. Like, go back and watch the show back on YouTube, and you'll see. Like he was rocking.
Yeah, I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing. My bad. I didn't. I'm not doing all that.
You gave him homework. He didn't even get home yet. He getting homework.
Right.
I need you to see what we discussed, so you can be prepared for tomorrow. I need you to understand.
He always producing.
Show prepping. Yeah, watch the show back, you know. But
yeah.
When you charge up your phone, make sure you
the damn direction.
Tosh said you're risking it all, Mike, at 1%.
Tosh said you're risking it all. You got one left.
Yeah.
Any second.
Yeah.
Going all out, the wheels fall off.
Mike,
yo, there's this dude who was asleep, and I didn't mean to wake him up. But he's really angry right now. Like, y'all about to make me get it popping at the airport.
Tell him he don't want no food.
Yeah, he popped up. He angry as hell right now. Looking, he's like, I can't believe it. Shut your ass up. How about that?
Right, Mike's still talking noise at 1%.
Mike on his who said type time.
I know he hear me.
You ain't gonna have no help when you hang up.
Right.
I've been waiting to get this frustration out for 4 days.
Pent up anger.
Yeah, I don't think nobody wanted. Do better go back to
aggression.
All right, y'all. Good job for real. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Everybody be safe.
See you tomorrow.
All right. Peace out.
So that's good. We know Mike's safe. We know he's safe. We caught him. For those who listening, there's a picture of Mike
gotta
on the
make
plane.
sure he sees these pictures tomorrow. We gotta open the show with these pictures tomorrow. Oh my God.
He definitely has to see these pictures tomorrow. Looking like I made it, y'all. I made it.
Oh my God. Yo.
Mike Shawn looking out the window, still smiling. I'm gonna get there. Come on home, Mike.
He still got to sit in Philly for like 2 hours. He just said.
Yeah, you gotta wait till lunchtime. Yeah,
you can't go get him.
Do you know the gas is a shortage right now in the world, and we can't be doing that. I know you heard about the gas issues. The gas lines are
the stingiest with money. He tight.
He said I'm stranded at the airport. You heard about the gas stuff?
You heard about the gas? Tight. There's a gas shortage. Y'all better fill up your tank.
For 2 days. The gas is $3. 2 days, $3. I don't know.
What's a couple more hours at this point? Like he'll be high. Like what's he waited this long, right?
It's all
he ain't got no phone. He don't got no music. He ain't got no social media.
He ain't got no battery.
Jay, aren't you in Philly?
Yeah, and but
And he's at the Philly airport
with Jay Black. Jay Black ain't no good.
After the
You
show,
better hope we don't play this show back.
I have to eat my breakfast. I got to get my bacon after the show. So I have
Scrapple,
His
Michael
bacon
Shawn.
Scrapple.
Scrapple, Michael Shawn.
and then at that point, it'll probably be like 45 minutes left before Stacey arrives. So it's like, it'd be all right.
Mike gonna be eating them breadless Subway sandwiches Mo was talking about. Mike gonna be somewhere with some bologna on the napkin, waiting on Jay Black.
Exactly, Tosh. And actually, you know what I think? I think that the good professor, since he was on Shazam and won all that money, I think he should be the one to order the Uber ride.
Why is he getting this man's money out there? Oh my God.
That's a good point, though, Jay. Why are we waiting on somebody to pick him up in a day where we could just Uber?
Exactly.
Instead of talking about Mike and Portia and Moses' stories, we should have just been like, yo, Mike, where you at? Let's just get you. We failed. We did. We should have organized his transportation in that 10 minutes.
And he don't even have battery power for us to tell him that like we gonna send you an Uber.
Yeah, I would.
We can't call him now. I only got one.
We can't call him now. We can't call him now.
Picture that's on the screen right now. Let's see.
First of all, didn't Doc tell you he out north? Like he out not north, but north. Like he out North Philly. And you really gonna post this right now?
Wait. I'm not bigger than the Inquirer. So all right. So Temple Professor, I'm reading the story. Temple Professor and brother win $1 million on Fox's Beat Shazam. Wow, look at the good doctor over there dancing. Look at that. Hey, that's the happy day. That's the we just won. He got one knee up in the air, hands out.
That Phelan calling me now that Portia done took a man. I don't know. Don't look like I'm out here like that. Right? Taxes and all that, man.
Yeah, tell them after the taxes, just regular money.
Listen, you living up
reality TV stars in my DMs.
He had to split it with his brother.
That part, thank you.
So come on now.
Here comes Shawnee with this for you.
We out of gas out here.
After taxes, it was really like $750,000. Yeah, about $780,000 after taxes.
Yeah, Tosh, I'm gonna say, look, Mike, I was trying to figure out how to get to you. I went to call, but your phone was dead. I couldn't get, and I didn't know what the terminal you was at.
That's after we talked to him for about 15 minutes.
But he didn't say the 2-hour part till the end.
Yeah,
true.
I knew this.
I didn't know he was gonna have to wait 2 more hours.
I did know.
That was him
like,
jumping in the air.
If you could get to Mike before the show end, that would have been exciting right there.
Yeah.
Kathy said, "Are you the one jumping in the air?" Yes, that was him. You were living up to your. Tell him what your line name is.
Oh, Showtime. 5 Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Fred.
Oh, her brother.
Oh, yeah, I was coming at the end. Yeah, people do remember that. I was happy.
So did y'all haze when y'all were in those fraternities?
What you talking about? You're breaking up. You're breaking up. That's
one of the questions you can't ask. Okay, I didn't know.
You said you get an Uber Black. Uber Black.
Why y'all get quiet on that question though?
Uber Black. There you go.
They can't talk about it.
Other stuff.
Someone called me yesterday and asked me about doing grad chapter, and I said, you know what? I just don't know that I want to pay money to be talked crazy to.
They talk crazy to you? What?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's a myth. Don't fall.
I know this is good community service. That's what I know. Good community service.
Good community service, scholarship.
That's fluff.
Brotherhood, sisterhood.
Brotherhood,
sisterhood. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, actually, the organizations we belong to, Phi Beta Sigma, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, we are the only 2 Greek letter organizations that are constitutionally bound. So we actually are the only brother and sister organization amongst the Greeks.
Yeah, technically, if you really want to be real about it, Remember we talking about receipts earlier, Jay? A lot of people talk, but only some people got receipts.
Now, Jay, back to that hazing you were asking about.
Haitians? Oh no, shout out to my Haitians.
Mother, daughter, we don't care about none of that. Let's get to
Haitians. Shout out to the Haitians.
Let's talk about the houses they be cleaning up and stuff.
I say, right?
All right.
I can't.
All right. So
everybody sound about was just mine.
We hear you loud and clear. We heard everything. I don't know what happened on that one question. You was on fire all day. But you asked about hazing. It's like, this thing ain't working. Hello, can y'all hear me? I can't even.
It's time to go. I got a class walking in.
All right. That's exactly how I go too. So how do we
take this call?
Mm-hmm. How do we end the show? What does Mike usually say at the end?
We say bye. Just say bye.
No, because he say a lot. And put God first.
Don't judge me because I won't judge you.
Yeah, you don't care. I don't care.
I'm me, and I can only be me.
There's only one Puerto Rican and
okay, I don't care.
No, he don't do okay here. He show okay. We need to bring that back. Okay. Yeah, just all that good stuff. We'll be back tomorrow. Wait, should I bring the doctor back tomorrow? We got to figure out where we're going. I don't even trust that he's back. So until I see that he's actually in his house, I don't even want to plan a show for tomorrow.
You could go pick him up though. You could go pick him up. Like you could really go pick him up.
You know the gate that he's at.
You know where he was then.
Baggage claim.
You
know where he was if you picked him up.
You smell that? I smell bacon.
Miss J Black, if you're listening, can you hold the bacon until your husband go pick up Michael Shawn?
Yeah, go pick up Mike.
Can you put the scrapple on ice?
That's a shame y'all don't know his line. Queen, do you know? You listen to the show. You support the show. How does Mike end the show? Let's go. Exactly.
I can only be me. I can never be who you want me to be.
Love me for who I am.
The only thing is sure to happen is death, and didn't die.
Yeah, she don't know the middle part. And then I go like this. I just want to go, yeah. He go, yeah.
And we just.
Yeah. So we're gonna end it on a yeah. We're gonna just say yeah, and then we're gonna end it. Wait. What do you say? One thing's for sure. One thing is for sure. Life will end.
Life will end.
So it's what you do.
So it's what you do in between the counts.
So that's one thing for sure in life, that it will end. It's what you do in between that counts. It's Michael Shawn, J Black, DJ Cam, Sexy Mo, Shiny Scott, the rapping professor. This is Wednesday, and we out. We see you guys tomorrow. Yeah.
Michael Shawn and the Takeover Legends, where nothing's off limits. Free Agent Radio.